Hailing frequencies are open. Hi, everybody, and welcome back to another Wednesday night episode of Shield of Tomorrow. We're going to be jumping into our announcements pretty quick tonight. We've got a couple for you. First up, I was going to talk real quick about our time shifts. There's a time shift taking place, a displacement in the temporal timeline of Shield of Tomorrow. We announced recently that GNS, our fall schedule has been announced starting in October. I think, is it October 2nd, Sax? Yeah, October 2nd. So starting in October 2nd, so I guess next week. Is it 2 weeks?
Yeah.
2 weeks? I don't know. See, this is the problem with running Doctor Who. Is like forever I'm screwed on time. Like I don't know. Yeah. So in 2 weeks.
Doctor Who RPG?
Yeah, there was one, I think, at some point. I don't know. But then the universe got reset. I don't know.
I don't remember.
As Amy's heart goes.
Oh.
So real quick, just to give everybody a heads up. So in 2 weeks, starting in October 2nd, I believe, is the date. We will be moving to Monday nights at 7 p.m. Yeah, so we're moving in soon. Yeah. So while Vast is on hiatus until it comes back for its next season, we'll be taking over the 7 p.m. slot on Mondays, which will be nice because it means I won't have ingested 5 cups of coffee to run a game, and it won't be 2:30 in the morning by the time I'm finally starting to drift to sleep. I'm very pleased about this, so it'll be good. So we'll hope to see you guys Monday nights. I know a lot of folks were kind of happy to hear that we're not going to be up too late. What else do we have to announce? Another quick shout out, as always, to Anovos. Like every time I put on this jacket before the game, I get super excited that they were so kind to just throw us Star Trek uniforms. Although tonight I don't have a communicator. I wonder where it went.
I don't know.
I feel like someone may have taken my communicator.
Looking at me?
I don't know.
Have you guys seen Bonnie? Oh, she's under that bus right over there.
Okay.
Wow.
Man.
Thanks for letting me borrow your camera. Thanks, Eric.
Yeah, and can you remind me what Lark's rank is? Can you remind me?
I'm pipless today, too.
And you're pipless?
Okay, guys. Seriously.
Oh my gosh, you are out of uniform.
I was cleaning my room, and I left the top badge in my pits.
Oh, yeah.
You're talking to a guy who's always wearing a t-shirt.
I get it. I'm fired. I'm fired. It's
Longer than
fine.
we all thought. Thank you. That bus.
Look, we're in a crisis, okay? The pip should be the last of our worries.
Also, special guest tonight, we are joined once again by Khan. Thank you for being here. Khan, it's
We offer the world order.
Yeah, man, I love that episode so much. It's incredibly. I think it's so beautifully timed that you brought that action figure out when I threw this past episode. Actually, we'll get to the recap in a second, though.
I did not know. If people thought that was planned, it was not. I just brought
planned.
that toy.
Yeah.
And then we went to that place, and I was like, what?
Yeah, no, it's pretty interesting. We'll get into the recap here in a second. Yeah, last week was a pretty hot episode. But before we jump into any more announcements, I just have to, real quick, we got some mail, some fan mail. Yes, I got this nifty postcard from the Citadel. So if you guys know Mass Effect, this is a great card from Tyler Boyce, who sent me this brilliant postcard. Yeah. It's a great. No, we won't have time to read it tonight. And my favorite part is I also just wanted to thank you for the themes of diversity you include on your RPGs. It's important, especially now, to show what can be accomplished when different identities and backgrounds unite. You're a grateful fan, Tyler. Thank you, Tyler. It's so exciting to have Tyler part of the audience, like big thing. And also real quick, we are going to have a mini episode tonight of Sam Loses Their Shit. This is Sam Loses Their Shit. Episode 2, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I already felt like that was going to happen.
Yeah.
The room and space they need.
Okay.
We have arms here for you if you need a hug.
Oh, okay. All right.
Arms at the ready for hugs.
We'll learn soon enough.
I'm excited now.
Let him enjoy it.
What does it say, Sam? What does the mug say?
So it says, I can't keep calm, I'm too excited. This is the most perfect mug in the world.
Mug, or was that custom made? That's
I don't know, but
It
it's
must
perfect.
have been custom made.
This is the most perfect mug in the world.
Yeah. Does it say who it's from? In there? Do we have a note or anything?
FDR.
We do not have in this
FDR?
particular object,
Wow.
unfortunately.
President sent
So
you that?
please at me.
Yeah.
On Twitter.
Let us know
Find
who
me,
you were that sent
or
the mug.
Discord or
It's super rad.
postcard.
Now, I believe
That was amazing.
I believe the other package is also to you.
Oh goodness, yes. I have a name on here.
I went ahead. I cut the top of it for you.
Thank
Yeah.
That is excellent.
Yeah. Oh,
What?
Rick, could you do me a favor? Could you run back to my desk in the office and look on the back shelf where all the Star Wars miniatures are located? You'll see something. You'll know exactly what it is when you see it, and bring it in here for me. Thank you. It's good to have the module riders on hand.
It is.
Sam, what'd you get?
What is it? Show it to us. What is it? What is that?
So much excitement!
What is on it? I can't see. Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
Oh my god.
I was gonna make an announcement.
Right, but I guess we're kind of hitting the nail on the head.
Bring the announcement.
Yeah.
Because I kind of still need to make the announcement.
Yeah, if you want to make it now, you can. Get it out of the way. Sam's excited, everybody.
Thank you. Again, please at me. This is amazing. It makes me so happy, and I will treasure
So
this.
let's. Oh, look, Rick came back just in time. I I also got you something.
Oh.
No joke. If you want to give that to them,
Eric, no.
That's Sam's.
No.
Oh.
What?
I got you. I got you. Because Sam likes dice towers are important when you're rolling for dexterity.
That's beautiful.
So you had one for Doctor Who, and Sam did not have one for Star Trek. So now Sam's got.
That's beautiful.
Sam's got themselves. I found that on Etsy.
I'm going to look on Etsy.
Yeah. So I got Sam.
Oh, I need
got
one.
Sam a dice tower.
Do you guys remember that segment on the Animaniacs called Katie Kaboom?
Hugs.
Do you remember that segment?
Vaguely, yes.
So like Sam is like Katie Kaboom, but like with excitement and passion instead of anger.
We were attacking Sam with gifts tonight.
So much
because we wanna
excitement. So
see-
much excitement.
Thank you.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's glorious.
It just lined up that way. It's just like, let's shower Sam in gifts. But now you have yourself a Star Trek dice tower.
Thank you, Eric.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you so much.
No problem.
Guys, next time
with all the
anybody
damage dice
gets
rolls.
one gift for Sam, we have to hold until there's like 8 in a row.
I know, it's becoming a health concern.
Bombard him with-
I mean, or we could at least like plug Sam into the power grid, Sax. Maybe we could just power this entire place.
Yep.
All right. So now that we broke Sam, does anybody have any other announcements before we jump into tonight's game?
Real quick, next Saturday in Pasadena is NerdBotCon. I had to say it like that.
NerdBotCon.
And it's a convention. It's like a little mini Comic-Con. It's a one-day con.
Is it for like
It's really
Transformers and like robots and stuff like that? Or is it?
No, it's just a
NerdBotCon?
Comic-Con,
Oh, rad. It's in
run by
Pasadena?
the company NerdBot.
Oh, rad.
So, and it's super cool, and Library Birds will be performing, and we'll have a table and probably doing like some voiceover panels and stuff. So yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun. Come check it out and stuff. There's a lot of stuff happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
I have.
Did you do something? I feel like you did something this week that's worth announcing. I know we're taking a little longer on our announcements tonight, but I feel like Eliza had a pretty eventful Trekkie last couple of days. I think it started with I seem to recall seeing you hanging out under Endeavor, the shuttle Endeavor.
Yeah.
Who were you with?
Oh, like a couple astronauts.
Yeah,
Yeah. And like a Nichelle Nichols.
and like hanging out with Nichelle Nichols,
Yeah.
who's like your homegirl now. Like you two are
Yeah.
just chilling.
That's pretty cool.
Who you were with another astronaut that was particularly and also on Star Trek at one point.
Oh, Mae Jemison.
Oh, Mae Jemison, that's correct. You
You
got to
mean
hang.
the woman who I idolized as a tiny child?
Yes. This would have been
Yes.
like if I had met Sally Ride, except for nowhere near as intense, I imagine, for you.
I'm containing all the things.
And it didn't stop there. You were somewhere, was it last night? I believe?
night.
Last night? I feel like you were somewhere.
You hung out with Nichelle Nichols again
God.
last night?
Basically,
She hung out
I
with
met
everybody.
Nichelle Nichols on Friday for the first time. Didn't get a picture with her, and I was in my like Uhura dress.
Right.
And it was cool though, because I was like, I know I'm gonna see her again. I'm in the universe. It's all good. Don't need the picture yet. And then I see her last night, and I got to interview her. This has been a crazy week, y'all.
Eliza was on the red carpet for Star Trek Discovery and got to.
Because I can't even like. I'm like
Eliza got to hang and chat with the entire cast.
That's amazing.
She got to talk to William Shatner. She got to talk to Nichelle Nichols, the entire cast of Discovery.
and the producers and the people just behind the scenes.
Yeah.
I'm so excited.
I would have loved to have seen Doug. Doug is a friend of Geek and he's a friend of a lot of us here. A lot of us here at Geek and Sundry are
Doug
acquainted
Jones?
with Doug Jones.
What a lovely human being.
So when I was an extra on the set of Dragon Age Redemption that Felicia did back in the day, Doug was the villain on that, and we nicknamed Doug Jones the Huggernaut on set because he just hugged everybody, and his cool Kunari makeup was just—it was funny. But yeah, so you had an eventful couple of days.
I'm gonna need to rest.
This has been the most Trekkie year of your life, if I don't.
Oh yeah,
This is good.
It is.
Are you like?
So far,
Is there like
far.
a what's the word I'm thinking of? Where you can't like review the show that you
Embargo?
Is there an embargo on
There's
it? There
an
probably is,
embargo.
right?
Yes.
Can you say anything about what
I
you
can
saw?
say that I thought it was dope.
I've heard nothing but great things about
Great.
Discovery.
So dope. So yeah, I
and
don't. I told you guys before. I don't want to. I never like to oversell things
Yeah.
or undersell and be like, oh, that sucked, or oh, that was awesome, because everyone goes in with their own, opinions.
Yeah.
But I will say, I enjoyed it. I thought it was wonderful, and I'm excited for people to see it.
I'm excited to see it too.
I can't wait.
And I'm just going to address a rumor that got started last night by Jackson Lansing, who says that there's a Shield of Tomorrow reference. Obviously, that would not line up because this went into production ages ago. But the fact that there is, let's just say that it's an incredible coincidence.
Yes.
From what Jackson tells me. And
If there's an Orion who shows up named Zatsaret, I'm gonna be so
there's a
mad.
half-naked Orion just
I'm
oiled
gonna be
up.
like, wait a minute.
Stupid.
We did that on our
Just,
show.
just has a fondness for some,
Yeah.
just like has a fondness for handsome Mexican men.
Just
Does
like
anyone, does
My
anyone
God.
drink cream soda? Because
like-
I'm gonna be pissed. I know in the
We're
Orville.
falling apart here.
In the Orville,
right.
one of the helmsmen drinks soda on the
Once
bridge.
again, Sazard is causing us to fall apart here. So,
All right, sorry.
I'm over
So-
excited now. Oh
yeah.
my goodness.
Oh my goodness. Amy, you got an announcement?
We also had our very first episode of Tempting Fate last Sunday, and it was a lot of fun. So before you check out Discovery this week, if you want to come back for round 2, Tempting Fate is back on Saving Throw, and it is silly and fun.
Cool. I love it so much.
Well, guys, I think
Can I just throw one more thing in? Sorry.
Yes, go ahead.
I have our final Dystopia improv show is Friday at 10:30, and before that, I'm one of the agents in Improvised X-Files Unclassified. So that's Friday at 8, and then Friday at 10:30. I'm doing a lot of improv. If you're in LA, come check it out.
You're amazing.
all right.
I never
Go check
sleep.
it out. Well, thank you. That was pure chaos for our announcements, but it was a lot of fun. So I hope that was.
Friends do cool shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry.
Sorry, guys.
Sorry, not sorry. / thank you.
Yeah. So, okay. Well, then without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into tonight's episode of Shield of Tomorrow. Welcome back. Sorry, Sam was starting to hug me for the gift, and I just pictured, like, if you've ever seen the movie Breath of Fire, which is the dragon movie, and at the end, one of the characters commits suicide by throwing himself at a dragon with an axe, and just like total suicide attack, just off a tower. And I just pictured Sam in slow motion, just lunging. Anyway, it was funnier up here. Okay, so moving on. Rain of Fire. Breath of Fire is a video game. Rain of Fire. So, okay, so let's do our recap, because last episode, some pretty big things happen. And if anyone's paying attention to continuity, yes, Khan is now sitting down. All right, so last episode of Shield of Tomorrow yielded some pretty interesting discoveries. A shuttle was returning from a conference that you guys were taking place. Let's see, our captain, our commander, and our doctor were returning from a conference that Starfleet was holding, essentially trying to prepare commanding officers for... Think of it like testing the readiness level of the command staff on board on the ships in their fleet. They basically think of it like exercises, a seminar, so to speak, to prepare people tactically and strategically for possible conflicts in the future. The fact that this conference was happening is a little foreboding, even though it happens once a year anyway. The timing of the events, with the Dominion kind of looming and the events that have been taking place between the Klingons and Cardassians, it doesn't usually happen when it happened. It's like they kind of moved it up a bit. Of course, that's when the news on your way back, you guys, the conference was canceled once news of the Antwerp Conference, which was taking place on Earth. A quick refresher. The Antwerp Conference was a place, a high-level meeting between Romulan and Federation diplomats. It was held in the city of Antwerp, and the conference was attended by many dignitaries and one Tholian observer. There was a terrorist attack, killing 27 people. Everyone at the conference was killed. Starfleet has been incredibly tight-lipped about it. The president declared a day of mourning. And the fleet was put on alert status. And since then, the conference was canceled, and you were all recalled to your post on the USS Sally Ride. By the way, for anybody who is following the timeline, this would technically now put us, the game started in 2371, this would actually take us into 2372. So... Except now the studio is falling apart, so we're just going to...
The warranty ran out in 2371.
Unfortunately... so on the way back from your conference, which was taking place on Lotrix 7, you guys encountered what seemed to be some kind of gravitational anomaly. Alarms started blaring on the shuttle that you were about to collide, that you were in a decaying orbit, and the next thing you know, you crash landed on a planet that was not there. Back on the Sally Ride, you discovered that the shuttlecraft had not arrived at the rendezvous point as it was scheduled, and an investigation began looking for clues as to why it was that the shuttle was not at its rendezvous point. You guys messaged Lotrix 7. You heard back from the captain there that they had not been seen since they departed. They had their flight plan. You guys tracked down their last known location. They were not there. And you began to conduct a search, trying to trace the ion trails. What you discovered, though, on the Sally Ride was there was sort of a gravitational wake, almost like a stone had been carried through a river in a way. So this wake seems to have been pointing you in the direction of possibly where the shuttle went, considering that the trail, the very faint trail, the Sally Ride sensors were able to detect it. You guys discovered that it's very likely that the shuttle is caught in either this wake or the wake has something to do with the disappearance of the shuttle. You're on the case. Crashing on this planet, we became a survival scenario. We had a tense moment, of course, where a possible injury could have taken place between Throlo and Rue, resulting in some tensions that were rising between the fellow crewmates. You guys eventually managed to get everything together and escape the shuttle just as life support failed. Trekked, 5 kilometers across the surface of this D-class planet and found a bunker that the sensors had detected, which, to make a long story short, revealed itself. This is Regula. The Regula, planet Regula, a planetoid that was originally in the Regula system and is home, as you have discovered, and the big shocking moment was this is the home of the staging ground for what was once Space Lab Regula 1, which was normally in orbit over Regula. This underground facility has been abandoned for 70-something years, and apparently, Martinez, with your history, you were able to put together that this this is where Dr. Carol Marcus and her son David were stationed. And when we last left you off, you were going through the database looking for clues. You had just gotten life support up and running. This place has not been touched in ages. Back on the Sally Ride, the mystery was also deepening as you guys came across a piece of a hull of a starship. And after Jiv was able to scan the molecular content of this starship and identify it as tritanium, he was able to trace it back to the USS Enterprise, NCC 1701. And judging by the time period in which this scrap of metal, judging from the time place, he was able to basically, using the scans, be able to detect which of the incarnations of the Enterprise that belonged to. It was the refit.
And just for clarity's sake, the refit is after Star Trek the Motion Picture.
Refit is Star Trek the Motion Picture. So the first time you see the refit is Star Trek the Motion Picture.
Carries
in fact,
through.
all the technical problems they were having at the beginning of Star Trek the Motion Picture were because the Enterprise had just been refit.
Right, and that carried through to Star Trek 3, The Search for Spock, right?
Where the Enterprise
Spoiler alert.
tragic. Yes.
Some people haven't seen that yet.
The Enterprise went to a pool party, and it was amazing. And everyone there, of course, was destroyed because the Enterprise is something like a quarter of a mile long and
Didn't fit in the pool.
it didn't fit in the pool. So
I was
anyway,
take a shower before getting in the pool.
What a weird joke. That's such a weird joke to
It
make.
is.
Everyone was destroyed.
everyone.
That was the worst pool party.
I mean, it's okay.
Pool
so
Party
anyway,
Massacre, Star Trek
reeling
80s
it back
movie.
in. So Jiv uncovered that this was a piece of the original Enterprise, the legendary ship of James T. Kirk, Captain Spock, and the rest of the crew, who it's 70-something years this has been floating in space. No idea how it is that you discover this or why it's out here. Just as this mystery is beginning to unravel, a ship was detected near the gravitational wake as you guys were sort of tracing the path of this wake. And you were headed up to the bridge Talon to investigate who the hell this is. That's where we pick up tonight's game. Talon, you step out of the turbolift and onto the bridge, and sure enough, on screen is what looks like to be a small junk freighter. It looks like one of those freighters that you see all over the galaxy. Probably civilian transport. It's nothing remarkable about it. Doesn't look like you can tell just from looking at it. There's no way the ship has weapons. It's obviously just some kind of cargo transport. It does look like it has some modification just from looking at it, but aside from that, it looks rather unremarkable, if not beaten up. And it is currently turning to port as if it is also. Let's put it this way: Sally has a hell of a looking glass, so you guys spotted this freighter long before she ever saw you guys. So as you're approaching, the freighter's coming about, indicating that it now knows you guys are there. And that's where we begin. So you take the bridge.
Ensign Sage, is Ensign Sage at the helm?
I'm here.
We'll have it.
All right.
I was at the console looking up more information about Project Genesis until this happened.
Yeah, okay. Ensign Sage,
Yes, Captain.
open a hailing frequency.
Hailing frequency open.
They immediately comes up on screen. They respond. You see a woman. Looks like she might be in her early 50s. Judging from the look of her clothes, she's probably just your initial impressions from just looking at her on the view screen is that she's probably both the captain and the engineer. It looks like she looks like a woman who's constantly getting her hands dirty. This freighter looks like it's probably being held by duct tape and broken screws. Like it is an old freighter, probably not really capable of jumping too high in warp. In the background behind her, you see poorly lit computer consoles and stations and whatnot. She has sort of wispy blonde hair, lines all over her face, and a very suspicious look in her eye. And she says, "This is the Zhao? Are you a Federation starship?"
Yes, we are. We are the USS Sally Ride. I'm acting Captain Lieutenant Commander Talon.
Hello, Lieutenant Commander Acting Captain Talon. My name is Sarah Goldstein. It's a pleasure to meet you. What can I do for you?
We are looking for a lost shuttle containing some of our senior staff members. Have you seen anything in this vicinity that looks out of place?
Well, we do have gravitational wake on sensors, and I'm sure your fancy starship has picked that up.
Yes.
We mostly salvage. When we find junk, we pull it in, take a look.
Is that what brought you to this area?
Yes.
And?
Well, we've discovered that there's a trail of salvage to be had in this gravitational wake.
Yes.
Yes.
That is very easy to see with the naked eye.
She kind of, you see her glance to somebody off screen and she just, yes.
What else have you found? Was it Captain Goldstein?
Yes, Captain Goldstein. Or Sarah.
Captain Goldstein. I sense that you have found something. Do you not wish to tell me?
We operate within the law for salvage rights.
I did not ask that question. But
So you're not here to police this area?
no.
She just leans in and looks at the computer. And for a moment, Talon, there's a split second, the way she looks at you in her old eyes and the quirked eyebrow, there's a split second where you swear it almost looks like the same expression your mother used to give you. And she looks at you and says, well, all right, I guess Vulcans don't lie very often. We found a few things floating in space. Some of them we think may have been old Starfleet. Some of them not Starfleet. We found there's so much junk floating through this gravitational wake. Most of it's not going to be very usable. We've discarded a lot of it, but we have discovered a few things, and you're welcome to look at them if you want. Just so you understand, though, we claim salvage rights on them.
We have no desire for any salvage rights.
Oh, well, then, of course, yes, you can come over and see them if you like, or if you want, we can beam them to you, whatever's best.
We only would need identification of the items.
I can send you a list of what we've cataloged if that helps. It might speed up the process.
That would be suitable.
And you say you're looking for a lost shuttlecraft?
Yes. Containing our senior officers. I'm sure you can understand the urgency we need to find them with. They could be in danger.
Well... You know, there might be a way we can help each other here. How about I beam aboard with what I found, and you and I can talk face to face?
That would be suitable.
Well then, I'll see you in a moment. She nods and goes off.
Ensign Sage, thoughts?
Well, I mean, we don't know exactly what they have. Maybe we should beam the items to the cargo bay and put a force field around in case any contamination or radiation is linked to the items.
I agree. I'll go down there with the security team as well.
In the corner of my eye, I can see the ghost of Rue going,
Ghost of Rue?
because being not there, they're like, Sam is literally sitting over there right now going,
Astral projection of Rue, please.
If
Oh, damn
Commander
it,
Rue were here,
spoilers.
I
I'm
think
sorry.
that they would want us to beam them.
just gave away the rest of the game.
It's a science show, not a supernatural show.
Sorry,
Eric.
guys. Sorry.
Science.
All right.
Astral projection.
Goes for a few episodes ago. Jeez.
Just a suggestion. While you're heading down, acting captain, with your permission, I'd like to continue researching information of anything we can with the Wake or Project Genesis or...
Yes, you can do that, Ensign Sage. I pause for a moment and look at the bridge. And then I leave.
Okay. Oh, are you headed down to transporter pad?
Yes, I head
All
to the
right.
transporter.
Well, when you arrive...
Oh, I take the security team with me.
Okay, cool. Ox crew.
Do the thing.
You guys get to do the thing. Decide who it is
Do
that
the
goes.
thing.
Do the thing. Our auxiliary crew is going at it. So two operations security officers follow you. You enter the transporter pad. The ensign at the console nods to you, and it says, "They're ready when you are, Commander, Captain."
Commander is fine.
Commander.
All right.
Energizing. Again, that blue column, that crystalline almost sound as a shape begins to form on the transporter pad. And as the two lines begin to clear, you see the form of Sarah Goldstein. A woman, she's pretty tall. I would say put her at like 6'1", 6'2". Definitely looks like a hardy stock. It's a woman that's probably worked all her life. And the moment she materializes, you see her full outfit is definitely sort of like, it's definitely a civilian's engineer outfit filled with like pockets and whatnot for different tools and materials. She looks around the transporter pad and just goes, "Everything is so glossy. It's nice. There's no gloss on my ship. Everything's just rusty and smudgy." She just steps down off the transporter pad and says, "Oh, here." And she starts to reach for something in her coat, and she stops and goes, "I have a pad for you. Is that all right?"
I nod to the security officers to stand down.
Okay. And she pulls out an old junky pad and hands it to you. And it's a list of salvage that they've collected over the past 3 weeks. You'll see there that we've spent some time in the wake. It's getting stronger as we move along. We think we're actually getting close to whatever it is that's causing it. Pretty interesting.
Captain, have you seen any type of gravitational waves like this before in other parts of space or during your salvaging expeditions?
Nothing like this. And we have a sensor suite that's specifically designed to find, well, for lack of a better way of saying it, metals. We have pretty much emptied my account to buy this from a Ferengi who undoubtedly ripped me off. But it is an exceptional sensor suite that allows me to actually scan for salvage material. And that's how we found the wake. We actually found it by following an increased buildup and salvage waste that was just floating through space. You know how objects in space work. They move along and just collect garbage as they go. And whatever this thing is has a big gravitational pull to it, so it's bringing along all of this space garbage.
And how close do you think you are to finding what that object is?
Well, I don't know. So we don't have long-range scanners, so I couldn't tell you.
Well,
I will say that that if anything that we've experienced so far in the past 3 weeks is to be believed, if it holds, then the closer we get, the more intense the trash field will be, for lack of a better way of describing it.
I'd like to talk with my engineer, Jiv. He may have an idea of how we could possibly use our long-range scanners in tandem with your metal detection.
Okay, that should be fine, yes. I would ask for something in return. It's not conditional, of course, I'm just asking for it. I would be happy to help find your lost officers one way or the other, so you can say no. But if they are on the path of this gravitational wake, my ship doesn't have shields. So if we were to continue following this course of action deeper into where the money is, we would need something to sort of be our shields. In other words, could we come with you?
I believe that would be acceptable.
That's great. Then yes, anything I can do to help.
But I must state this, just to be clear. We are not in the business of helping with any illegal activities, if that's what you have in mind.
No, nothing illegal in there. If anything is of importance, of course, Starfleet can do whatever they want with it. I operate within the law. I am not doing anything illegal. Absolutely not.
I find that when people state that they are operating within the law without being prompted, they usually are not. Is that the case with you, Captain Goldstein?
Nope.
Talon turns Follow me.
She nods. Your security officers are handsome. She follows after you.
Are they?
You haven't noticed?
No, I hadn't noticed.
She looks at the two that are standing there. Yes, very fit.
All of our Starfleet officers maintain a healthy balance of fitness and rest, as well as a balanced diet.
That sounds wonderful, to be honest with you. We have to use foodstuffs. We haven't had a working replicator on the Zhao for maybe 5-6 Earth years now.
Where do you find your rations? Where do you...
We're not a deep space vessel. We usually stick close to port, wherever we can make it. Yep.
Must be an interesting life.
That's all she does. Doesn't really reply, just kind of...
How many are on your ship, Captain
42.
Goldstein? 42?
42 crew members. You like that, Hector? Yeah. She just kind of nods as you guys are walking down the hall towards the turbo lift. She's just looking around and she's like, the lighting in here is really... Federation. I should have gone. I should have been a Starfleet officer.
I take it this is your first time on a Starfleet vessel?
No, I used to... the last time I was in a Starfleet vessel, I was a little girl. It was Excelsior class. I think they've been out of service for a while now, but I loved those ships. They were the few ships still left in Starfleet, from what I've seen, that still had metal grating on the floor. Now you've got all this nice carpeted, padded stuff. It's very luxurious around here. I like it. It's comfortable.
Perhaps you should look into adding carpeting to your freighter ship.
I'll start with food, but carpeting could be second.
That is logical.
You all filter into the turbo lift. Are you headed down to engineering?
Actually, I'd like... we head to cargo bay because that's where the things were transferred to. But I would like to call Jiv down to join us, to meet us down there. So, acting captain to Commander Jiv, Lieutenant Commander Jiv.
A few moments later, and you hear Jiv reply, yeah, this is Jiv, go ahead.
Jiv, I would like you to meet myself and our guest, Captain Goldstein, down in Cargo Bay 1, 2? 2.
That one's the Targo Bay.
The Targo Bay. There's a beat, and Jiv says, yeah, right away. Commander, if it's all right, I've got someone shadowing me, somebody who I'm trying to get involved in the metallurgic study that we have going on here with with this investigation. She's been a tremendous help. She's my first in command here at engineering, and I thought maybe now is as good a time as any to introduce her to senior staff.
I think that would be fine.
Great. Jiv out. There's a moment, Talon, when Jiv... When the communication's cut off, Jiv actually... There's something in his voice. It's a little different. He doesn't sound like his usual... He doesn't have enough energy in his voice as usual. And it doesn't sound like exhaustion. Jiv has a very distinct personality. And I'll just go ahead and tip you off right now. Something about Jiv's tone felt a little off to Talon.
Kind of want to do an insight.
Jiv's my favorite. I don't like him. I don't like him to be sad. Or not himself.
So
I'm gonna meet him momentarily down there.
Yeah, you guys are.
I kind of want to do an insight check when I see him.
Okay.
Okay.
So when you get to the cargo bay, Jiv is there already ahead of you. There's a bunch of engineering staff kind of around. You see a lot of junk spread out across the cargo bay floor that's been beamed over. A lot of it looks like, some of this stuff looks like pieces of a satellite, not Earth origin, probably hundreds of years old. Just from a glance, you can identify that most of the stuff here on the deck is just space trash. Nothing, at least the piece of the Enterprise looked like it stood out, but the engineers are going through it thoroughly. And Jiv walks up to you and goes, "Well, Commander, this is what they sent us. I've got my team going over it, and seems like it's coming along."
It looks as though there are no pieces of our lost shuttle by sight.
No,
Do you agree, Jiv?
Not yet. Haven't uncovered anything yet.
That is good news.
It's encouraging. Yeah. Nothing on the tricorder has indicated that we've come across anything else that's Starfleet origin. Not really much else to report, but I do have one of my top people on it. Actually, if you don't mind me introducing you, I think now's as good a time as any to my first. She's gonna take over and helm the scanning process of the junk while I look deeper into the whole Enterprise mystery. That way I can divide up, my workforce and whatnot.
Okay. All right. I'd like to do an insight check on Jiv.
Sure. Go ahead and do an insight check on him.
Is it 2? Sorry, I'm
Yeah.
dumb. 2 4s.
Very good.
Jiv critically fails. I rolled a 20 and a 20.
Oh,
So I'm glad Jiv is getting that out of the way.
Get those complications out of the way.
Technically, that should generate threat, but I do feel bad as a GM throwing threat at you guys because of what an NPC that I'm controlling rolled. So I'm gonna be nice and not throw threat at you guys.
Thanks.
So what are you trying to learn from Jiv right now?
He just seems, I'm just trying to see what's going on.
He seems
with him.
distracted, tired, and if you didn't know any better, maybe depressed.
Where is he? I need to give him a hug.
He said Jiv is not his usual self.
Not my shit.
Okay. So I'm not picking up that he's under duress or being forced to do something against his will or anything like that.
No, there's no brainworms going on. You don't
Okay.
get any. You don't detect any.
He's just being
That's just his behavior.
an emotional being.
He's being an emotional being right now.
All right.
Yep.
An emotional being.
Well, I don't care about that. Just kidding.
You're like, this is irrelevant. Pull a Tuvok. Can we get over this and move on, please?
He can do his job a little depressed.
So at that point, he just goes.
That sounds so insensitive. This is Talon talking.
This is Talon. Last week it was racist comments about Acacian. This week, Talon doesn't give a damn.
It's just good, life advice. Everybody can do their job a little depressed. We all get depressed. It's
Yeah, hell yeah.
We all have to do our jobs.
Fuck it up, Jim.
Sometimes that's what helps me
Jimmy.
get through it. So.
Yeah. Well, we need him. Well, yeah. I'm just checking to see if I can rely on him in this moment, or if he needs to take some time away.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, you don't know what you know.
Come to sick bay.
What you know about Jiv is that if you suggested that he take some time, that would not go over well.
Yep, I can sense that from him.
that would
I'm the
invoke
same
a
way.
very
So-
negative reaction.
Says,
Yeah.
I know you're not going to, but there's an arrow pointing at the first sign.
Another ghost. No.
Okay.
Theme on this ship? What?
So at that point, Jiv says, "I'm gonna hand this over to my chief," and then says, "Hey, Ren, come over here for a second. I'm gonna introduce you to the lieutenant commander. You haven't had a chance to meet some of our enlisted crew, but she's been helping me take over here. Lieutenant Commander Talon, I'd like to introduce you to my second in command in engineering. This is Chief Mala Ren. She's been helping me, well, keep the Sally Ride running smooth."
Mala Ren?
Mala Ren, MALAREN. And just so there's no confusion, I'd like to welcome our new cast member to Shield of Tomorrow.
What?
A new member of the crew.
Sorry, I'm out of uniform. It was a busy day.
That's another announcement.
And also for further clarification, not the sexy character we saw from before, but in fact a brand new character and Starfleet officer. I should say enlisted Starfleet. Yes. So, would you like to describe your character as Chief Wren approaches?
Sure. I got a care package from Sam. It's Dyson pencils.
Oh, yay.
So yeah, kind of young, scrappy, hair in messy buns, probably a little smudge on her face, but dark hair, very petite.
Human?
No.
Nope.
Not human. From the looks of her, just from spotting her, Talon.
Oh no, I'll say, I have very, very black eyes.
Yes.
Like my hair.
One might say dark pools. And no visible iris.
But otherwise humanoid.
And wearing the chief's insignia on her collar. And Jiv turns to you and says,
What's up, Shiv?
Ren, you're going to be taking over on the metallurgic analysis for the commander here.
Yeah, no problem. What you got?
What is it you were looking for again, Commander? You want pieces of the shuttle examined, if we found any?
Yes, we were trying to locate the source of this gravitational wave. We are also still looking for the shuttle, to see if possibly there are any metallic pieces that correspond with the missing shuttle. Or if we could find the shuttle hull, that would be ideal.
Well, I can tell you again that so far we haven't come up with anything that matches the description or the makeup of the shuttle. But judging from the trash that's been laid out here on our deck, I would say a lot of this stuff comes from halfway across the galaxy. I mean, look at this thing. He reaches down and just picks up this chunk of metal that's kind of gnarled and twisted. He's like, I'm pretty sure this came from a trash freighter, and it's about 300 years old. And if I didn't know any better, I would say it's probably Tholian in origin. He just tosses it on the ground and just cling, cling.
Hey, come on, man. This stuff could be good. You don't know. It could be useful.
Is it
They've
leaving?
done good stuff with it so far.
Just keep scanning it. If it's not a shuttlecraft, it doesn't mean anything to us.
Can you at
No
least...
offense. And he says that to Sarah, who's like, no, it's fine. Toss it about. We came to the same conclusion.
At least don't dent it. All right?
She should work for me. Could use more people with careful hands. Jiv goes, and who is this exactly?
Yes, this is Captain Goldstein of the freighter Zhao. Zhao.
Okay.
Captain Goldstein has come across this space junk, as you called it, and I wondered if perhaps Captain Goldstein's special metal sensors on their ship could be used in tandem with our long-range scanners to find the source of this gravitational pull.
Special metal sensors? The hell is a special metal sensor? He looks over at her, and she says, I bought a sensor suite a couple of years ago from a Ferengi, and Jiv stops and goes, You have a Ferengi ore detector? And she's like,
What?
It's used, but we installed it, yes. Why? Did you want to look at it? Jiv goes,
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, that would be good. Yeah, if we could, yes, that'll help. If we could, yes, we could technically probably cut through the gravitational interferences from our sensors with something, if we were able to, I'll spell you the techno babble.
No, okay. If we just rewire the neutrino gradient and we stabilize the equalizer, we might be able to boost the signal.
The photon field dampener would probably just counter the signal anyway, because those things are ancient.
But not if you just cut off the photon feed completely.
But then you're also forgetting the quantum conversion unit, because that's going to come into play as well. It's going to interfere with...
Not if you bypass the grid. You just have to rip the whole system out.
You can't rip the whole system out.
Yes, you can. You just rewire it.
You want to rip the whole system out and rewire the system from scratch?
Give me 20 minutes.
Which system will you be rewiring?
Her sensors. And he points at Sarah and she goes, "You're doing what now? With
Yeah,
my
it's easy.
with my sensors?"
There's a lot of junk stuff in there. It doesn't all need to be there.
It's true. You know, Starfleet, with our technical expertise, we could actually enhance that so you can get more bang for your buck, so to speak. I'm guessing you paid a lot of money for that thing. And Sarah's just like, I'm sorry. I'm not going to let you rip apart my sensor suite. That cost me a year's salary. What if you can't put it back together again? And Shiv goes, oh, I am the chief engineer of the most advanced science vessel in Starfleet, okay? If I can't put together your rock smeller, then I don't belong here, okay? We can handle it. We'll make it better. How's that sound? You have my personal guarantee, and I'm a Tellarite, which is a good guarantee. And Sarah just kind of looks at the two of you and then glances back to you, Talon, and it's like, if I can get your assurances that if something goes wrong, I'll be compensated.
I am fully confident that Commander Jiv can put back together your sensor. And you will be compensated. Particularly since you are helping us to locate our lost senior officers. So yes, you have my word.
And, I know the old saying, give a mouse a cookie and they want a glass of milk, but do you think we could have a replicator? Do you have one of those on hand too? That would be super handy. Like a food replicator, maybe?
I look at Jiv.
Shiv goes, we can replicate a food replicator.
Then yes.
Yeah, well, it'll be fine.
Any other requests while we're at it?
We'll do what we can. She's gonna rip your grid up. It'll be fine. Shiv just, with that, abruptly turns and leads Ren away. Sarah just watches them go, just like, and looks at you and says, okay. We're gonna cut now to...
Before we cut, I just want to say one thing.
Yeah.
Whenever I asked permission to continue researching,
I know what you're up to.
I did not specify where I was going to do that, and
Where
I
are
excused
you going?
myself from the bridge. I'm going
Okay.
to my quarters.
Okay, you make your way down to the deck.
Oh, that's it. You can cut away. I just wanted to specify that.
We're gonna to pull off what you'd like to pull off. We should roll this.
Oh, okay. So
Making your way into your quarters.
I make Lark makes her way to her quarters, and she continues researching about Project Genesis, and cannot. First of all, she has like no
So
clues
hold up.
whatsoever. Yeah.
The moment you start searching for Project Genesis,
Yeah.
the Federation databank blocks you.
Yeah. Yeah.
The moment you enter the inquiry, it asks for authorization, of which you
My
enter your
security clearance
you enter
has
your clearance,
nothing.
and it does nothing.
Yes.
You are blocked.
And I am very good at what I do. I make sure that my console will not be traceable and
Okay.
enter my father's
Okay. So
security clearance code.
How are you making sure that the console is not traceable? You gonna hack this thing?
I'm hacking
All right.
security.
So this is gonna take a roll.
Okay.
This is why you don't send both the.
No one was around to watch Lark. You're worried about Sarah doing something illegal. All right, so Lark, this is going to be a control. Well, this is not going to be hard for you. This is going to be a control con roll.
Okay.
You're trying to make this untraceable. The difficulty is going to be 4,
Oh shit.
and
I'm taking one of these.
I am spending 3 threat. To increase the threat range by 3.
Okay.
So if you roll a 17 or higher, you get a complication.
Okay.
I assume she doesn't get assistance from the ship on this roll.
No, you would get assistance from the ship.
Lovely.
Oh,
You're using Sally Ride.
I am.
to
I'm
sort
using
of-
the Sally Ride.
Yeah.
All right, Sally.
Using the Sally Ride to say that we are not the Sally
I'm not
Ride.
Sally Ride.
I'm not Sally Ride.
Don't you have a focus in computers?
I do. I'll be using my focus. Yeah.
So that's
It
4 and
applies.
under would be a critical.
Okay, here we go. Oh, 3 successes.
Yeah.
That'll hit it.
Just outside that complication
3.
range.
Yeah,
Fingers
right.
done.
play across the LCAR system. There is a symphony of beeps coming out of the LCARs as you play it across, and keep one step ahead of the inquiries as to who it is that's making the inquiry. Finding your loopholes in the system, you manage to sort of reroute who's making the inquiry through multiple loops of the inquiry itself.
I've done
and
this
essentially
before.
kind of dance around it. And you enter your father's clearance code. You see your father's name, the ambassador rank. He doesn't have top shelf clearance, but it's pretty high. And what comes up, you're looking for Project Genesis? Is that what you're looking
I
for?
am.
So what comes up is a file of what it is you're looking for, a reference material. And you see just a quick headline. It just says Project Genesis. And it gives the star date, over 70 years ago. It says Project Genesis is a highly classified terraforming project that has been since canceled. And that's all it says, even at your father's security clearance level.
Wow. Come on, Dad. You know everything. Okay. I just close everything out and put my console back to normal.
I will say that it would give you access to names who worked on the project.
Okay.
So you would see Dr. Carol Marcus, Dr. David Marcus, and it just kind of
But
goes
isn't
down
this
the list.
something that not everyone in Starfleet knows, but like Captain Martinez would know about some of those names as well, correct? Or no?
Judging by the fact that one of the things that led Martinez to Starfleet in the first place was the life of James T. Kirk,
Right.
he probably knows who Carol Marcus is,
Okay, so he might recognize
which
those
would
names.
mean he probably knows who David is. But, you know.
Okay, I just closed out my console,
Okay.
put everything back to normal. I didn't really learn anything that would help, but I head back to the bridge just in case I need it there and
Okay.
make sure I left no trace of what I did.
It doesn't take long.
Yeah.
You get back to the bridge. You manage to get back before Talon or anybody else returns to the command post. You slide right back into the helm as the ensign gets up and, you resume your post. Taking a deep breath, you look back out into the view screen into the blackness of space. Somewhere out there are the commanding officers of the USS Sally Ride.
We'll find them.
We cut to... We are currently on Regula, inside a space lab that has been abandoned for 70 years. Martinez, as you're scrolling through some of the data in this computer databank, a lot of it too is also blocked out. But at 70 years of age, the computer banks here are still functioning at full capacity, but it's asking for clearance card numbers and whatnot, things that are a little outdated when it comes to security, Federation security.
Okay.
But still pretty tight. You are seeing the names Dr. Carol Marcus and David Marcus on the screen, and the deeper you look, the more gets revealed that's there. If you want to make a check and roll to see what you can uncover here at the database.
Oh, most definitely.
Okay. It's going to be the same thing. It's going to be control and con.
Okay.
Isn't it a con joke?
Control con.
Nope,
Okay.
no con. Okay, no con joke.
All right. Do I get any...
Did we change scenes?
We did change scenes, yes.
So we lost our
Last momentum is gone.
That's okay.
Yeah.
So I would like to use one of my talentos, please.
Talentos?
That's Spanish.
Oh, your
for
talents. Yeah.
Talents.
All right.
A lot of times you add an O
Caliente.
to the end of it, and it's a Spanish word.
All right. So,
I've got, of course, studious.
that'll definitely come in handy.
With an emphasis on history. And this is for if when I am obtaining information, I can ask another question. Like I get a freebie question. That's what studious is.
So then I'm going to rule, the first roll will be to uncover said information.
Right.
And then once you uncover it, once you're able to access it, I'll let you use the Studious and whatnot to process and dig into that information.
Even
But
further.
first,
Great.
this is
Yeah.
basically to find it first. So go ahead and make your command and con roll.
Okay.
Difficulty is 2.
My command is great. My con, and that's so good. Okay.
And that's so good.
Whoops.
Floor dice don't count.
One success.
One success.
Sorry.
You can attempt it again later.
Dang
But
it.
right
I'm getting
now-
blocked out.
Yeah, you run into another dead end.
Where is Commander Rue and Dr. Shishiros right now?
Shishiros is in the
physical
room with you.
space.
Commander Rue has moved off to investigate the life form that they detected because
ordered not to. I was posted up on the doorway. The life form is currently 60 meters from me.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought the last thing I heard you say was to establish a perimeter. Is that what you're?
Yeah, I was
that's what you've
ordered
done,
not
but
to.
you're-
That's why
you've
I'm
stopped?
at the
Okay.
doorway, but I haven't gone
Yeah.
down the hallway
Okay.
without the rest of my party,
Okay, cool.
whom I did not split.
Don't divide the party. See, years of playing D&D comes in handy in every RPG ever. So
Maybe Rue plays RPGs. You don't know your
yeah,
life.
it's true. Instead of a poker game at night, the bridge
don't know
crew,
me.
you all know it.
don't know
The bridge crew all gets together for a game of
Imagine
D&D.
how awesome an RPG would be on a holodeck. Just picture that for a second.
That would be the
imagine.
ultimate LARP experience. I mean, we've all seen it. We've all seen the Q episode.
There we go.
goodness.
All right.
Mini, yeah.
Yeah. So
I
anyway,
don't roll dice. I chop heads off dragons.
yeah.
Everything both player and character want in the world.
Oh man.
Okay, so I'm at this console and I'm just getting Dr. Carol Marcus, Dr. David Marcus.
Yes.
I know that it's Regula 1. I'm seeing the name Project Genesis.
If you want, I'll let you roll again, but I'm going to increase the difficulty by 1, and then if you don't succeed here,
Well, what I'm
you're locked
thinking
out.
is, I don't know if Dr. Shishiros might have some more insight, might have some more sort of hacking knowledge that I might. She might be able to roll essentially to try to get that information.
I mean,
assist?
how would you assist?
Is the problem right now that the files are locked to us?
Currently, the search pattern that Martinez is engaging in is constantly leading him to dead ends through like search words and whatnot, keywords and looking up.
Look, I'm just assuming that as different people, we each have different life experience and different things
Can
we
I
might be
browse
bringing
through
bring it to
field
the table
reports or by
to.
subject?
You're absolutely right to assume that. And if you can throw like a clever reason why you can assist, I'll give it to you.
Can I browse through field reports or by subject? Approach this like a scientific record?
Because of you do lean a lot more into sciences, obviously, being a medical officer. So if you want to say, I'll help you out here. If you want to say that Throlo uses their expertise and their scientific leaning to search for keywords that might lead.
I want to mixed up files of Mrs. Basil Frankweiler.
Yeah. Okay. Then yes, I would let you assist. I think that's totally. I can see you rationalizing that. Yeah. So if you want, you can roll again, and I'll let Amy assist on the roll.
Okay.
And see if Throlo can help Martinez.
All right, let's roll.
But I am increasing the difficulty by 1. So difficulty's gonna be 3 this time.
You have no momentum.
And you're out of momentum.
And we.
Next time, remind me. I have a talent.
But tell you what,
that I could have used.
I'm gonna be
to
nice about it. I'm gonna
build, but I forgot.
to increase the difficulty. I'm gonna burn threat for it. So I'm not just doing it to you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's role play this a little bit.
What should I be rolling as we do this?
So you were gonna roll. Let's see. I would say you would probably roll your reason. Yes, I would say your reason.
Reason medicine?
Can I reason science?
No, I'll let you reason
science?
science.
Okay.
Doctor? What kind of doctor? I'm leaning over your shoulder.
Dr.
She was a
Carol Marcus.
researcher,
She was some sort of a researcher who it seems like she had an expertise in biology or fauna. I'm getting mixed things.
Botany or genetics?
A little bit of both. It
Can
looks
I
like.
see?
Yeah, a little bit of both. I'm coming up with nothing. Maybe I'll cross-reference botany to see if something comes up. It's a Linux system. Oh.
I know this.
Dr. Carol Marcus.
Thank you, doctor.
Go ahead. Go ahead and make your roll.
I assist with 1, right?
Yes, that's correct. And you don't get to add.
Just one success.
Okay,
That's
no
enough.
complications.
That's enough.
Well, wait. Let's see.
Amy's gonna have to roll really well.
Oh,
Crit.
Do
You
I
crit?
have-
She crit.
No, I might.
wait.
I don't know if any of my focuses are going to help here.
Tell me what your
Genetics.
Genetics, xenobiology,
Guess
infectious.
what? Genetics will apply.
Yeah.
She crit.
Did it.
Critical.
I'm going to give it to you. What are your other focuses?
Emergency medicine, xenobiology, infectious diseases, genetics, counseling, and triage.
Yeah, genetics and xenobiology would because you're able to. I'm going to say that with those two focuses, actually hits the keywords.
roll.
Dr. Carol Marcus was a molecular biologist.
Ah.
So using your focuses, it's just enough to actually associate with some of the knowledge you know to look for keywords in biology and the biological sciences. You find an entry point to get more information about the people that were stationed here. Now, the Project Genesis stuff is still locked up tight. That's something totally different. But you are actually able to access personnel files. And you bring up the personnel files of some of the scientists that were stationed here.
What was a molecular biologist doing on an underground outpost on a D-class planetoid?
What would you like to? Now you can use your studious. You can make the roll to use. Now you can look into what information.
I know how important Carol Marcus was to the life of James T. Kirk.
Well, you've definitely got it confirmed now that this is where she was
I
stationed.
know that she was the mother of his child, that he was the father of her child.
I will
David
say
Marcus.
unequivocally. I will tell you right now that in the personnel files, you can see that David was also stationed here.
So I know that they're both stationed here, and I know that he lost his son. I don't know if this is related to that at all, but I also know that
David's death, by the way,
Yes.
is highly classified still.
Sure.
It's very vague how it
very
was.
vague.
Yeah.
And we're coming across a bunch of vague stuff right now. And I also know that that's because Admiral James T. Kirk, Captain James T. Kirk, dealt with so many classified missions
Yes, he did.
that were galaxy saving that he was coming across the unknown. He was coming across incredible threats to not just the galaxy, the universe, that he ended up helping to thwart. So this is it's thrilling, but it's also terrifying.
Do you remember the great scene in Indiana Jones where he's weighing the sand and he's rubbing his face and he looks hungry and he's trying to figure out how to get the artifact off the pillar? That's Martinez right now as he's looking through this computer database. You see the hunger in his eyes, and you are aware as you're kind of reading over the shoulder that he's tapping into a Federation database that hasn't been touched in, again, 70 years. Whatever information he's coming across, it's puzzling to you, Throlo, but Martinez looks like he's onto something.
I want to do
Meanwhile,
Captain, are you
Rue,
captivated by...
Yeah, they're having a nice little moment. The captain is super into this, and my heart blooms with joy for him. I am from that doorway trying to sort of do some surreptitious tricordery on something 60 meters away.
Okay. So we're going to do a roll here in a second, but what were you about to say or do?
Doctor?
Just gonna make some conversation.
Do it. Well, we like to role-playing games, so I'm all for this.
Captivated. It's unlikely there's much groundbreaking science in these 70-year-old files.
Oh, Doctor, that is where you actually might be a little bit uninformed. This might be incredibly groundbreaking science. This might be something potentially very, very dangerous.
Who was
Dr.
Dr.
Carol Marcus
Marcus?
was the mother of Captain James T. Kirk's son. And his son was, in fact, David Marcus, also stationed here, is what I'm finding out. Now, if you're not aware, I'm sure you are, James T. Kirk was involved in incredibly classified missions of unexplainable danger. So this, learning as much as we can what we're up against, might help us in this situation right now. Commander Rue, status report. How are we doing?
How we
Go ahead and
doing?
make your roll.
Yeah.
You're going to scan for that thing?
Yeah.
I love how you just totally Shatnered that.
Commander Rue.
It is very
Commander Rue.
classified
It just can't.
and dangerous.
What is Project Genesis? What is Genesis?
You're filled with anticipation.
Nobody's authority. All right. So, Rue,
Yep.
this is going to be a reason science roll.
Terrific.
Let's see what your tricorder tells you.
It won't turn on.
Absolutely bugger all, it tells me.
Okay. So you're running your tricorder scan. It may be the unusual.
Did we get 3 successes on a difficulty 2 check?
It was 3.
It was difficulty 3?
Yeah.
Never mind.
I hear ya.
Rue's
Wouldn't
you
do
see,
no good.
You see the thing I'm holding in my hand right now? That's what I'm good at.
Yeah, the other hand is
Hold
really
it
where
up,
the
then we'll-
expertise
That's what Rue's good at. The whole scanning thing.
Yeah, no, I have a 50-50 shot of being able to find my
If you can scan with the phaser, you're in great shape. Yes, it was alive. I can confirm that. I can confirm that it was alive.
It is alive. It is now on the ground.
Science.
For,
That is not how you science.
it's how I science, baby. Sir, we're too far from the life form for me to be able to get a good read.
And do you want to make your roll in the computer database right now, or what do you want to do?
I want to do.
Because you haven't searched the files, you've accessed them now, but now
Okay.
you can make your roll with the studious trait and everything else.
Oh yes, actually,
Yeah.
I do want to do that.
Okay, so
I
make
want to
the
get
roll.
it. Okay.
Because I've only given you like a surface read of what
Right.
you've uncovered.
And this is again still control
This is control.
Con?
No, this will be control con.
control con. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see what I get. What's the difficulty?
Difficulty is now 1.
Okay, 1 success.
Well, there you go.
Lovely.
All right.
Okay, so personnel files come up.
I know.
Now that you're inside the database, you've kind of gone around. What you've discovered is all the security pertaining to Project Genesis. Everything else is actually accessible if you know your way around the
But
system.
not Project Genesis?
Project Genesis is completely inaccessible.
Because I'm looking for just 1 sentence, man. I just need 1 sentence.
What you do uncover, though, is footage.
Pull it up. What is it?
You see something come up. What immediately comes up is it looks like it's heavily corrupted. So there's a lot of static playing across the screen, and you hear voices talking softly. And you see a star date playing across the bottom of the screen. You can tell, again, it's older technology, so the footage is still a little on the shady side, but it looks like it looks like this underground lab probably had scanning equipment that was constantly keeping tabs on what was going on down here, leading you to think that this was probably some kind of staging area or testing ground, judging by the amount of camera positions you're actually seeing located across the compound. There are 4 cameras that are like sensor suites, essentially, that gives you the footage that set things up. I call them cameras because I don't know if Star Trek actually ever calls them cameras. I don't know if they're actually but essentially scanning devices of some such that scanned and recorded the footage. There's 2 voices talking quietly, and as it clears up briefly, you see 3 figures. One of them, it looks like it's from an angle up on the ceiling. One of the figures looks like they're laying prone on what looks like a bed, wearing an old Starfleet uniform, red uniform, with the white collars. Fun fact, that's my favorite uniform from Star Trek. It's the least popular, but it's my favorite.
I have a fondness for those.
I love the red uniforms. He's laying sort of in a bed area. Looks like they're holding something up to their head. Kind of hard to see. It's a little fuzzy. And the angle, you're not sure who the other 2 people are, but you do see a woman with blonde hair. And she's standing near the doorway where Rue is now. And she's saying something. And sitting about 6 feet away from her is a man. Sitting on what looks like maybe like a container of some kind. You're not sure. You're not sure what he's sitting on. He has a red vest on and the white under uniform. Maybe Starfleet. But you're only seeing him from like a backward side angle. And you hear a woman say, "Please tell me what you're feeling." And it's a little shady, but then you hear, "There's a man out there I haven't seen in years trying to kill me.
Oh my God.
You've shown me a son that's be willing to help. How do I feel? Old." And it begins to go into static again, but you know the voice. And it begins, you see the corruption kind of like, and then it just says end, like the corruption basically kills the recording.
That's Jim Kirk.
It was Jim Kirk.
Doctor, that was Jim
Your
Kirk.
Kirk?
Yes. Yeah. Our Kirk. Yes, the Kirk. It was James T. Kirk. Yeah. And that was
Talking
his
to Carol Marcus. And
Carol
apparently seeing him in a moment of unusual vulnerability.
Yes. And I'm thinking to myself, this is footage that nobody's
seen it.
Nobody's seen
nobody. This was a moment that only, like, even the man who laying in the corner, who out of character, was Chekhov.
That's Pavel Chekhov.
Yeah, who's laying off in the corner. Probably wasn't even privy to this conversation. It was so quiet and off to the side and personal. This was a conversation that was held between two people who had a lot of history, and probably never thought that this conversation was ever going to be overheard.
So this is making me lean towards, I had one of two options in my head. The fact that two Dr. Marcuses were involved in this project. Number one option was, this is nothing. This could lead to nothing. This is a science experiment that is classified for reasons that are not important. But the fact that Jim Kirk is there, and he said that there's somebody there trying to kill him, immediately is making me lean towards, this is something. This is something big.
Now, what does your studious thing give you?
My studious is that I am a student of history.
Right. But what is the bonus the trait
The
gives
bonus
you?
is that when you're getting information, you can ask another question, basically get a freebie, more information.
Would you like to ask a question about what you saw?
Yeah. Yes, I do. About specifically just that footage that I saw?
Or anything else that you've uncovered? There is a log as well, a
Because you're
personal
saying
log.
we're getting everything except for what Project Genesis actually is, but everything else here, like
Everything around it is
logistically, we can peruse and we can.
Yeah.
I want to check to see when the last, like, logins, and if there's any like video diaries, if there's anything from Carol or David or any of the other scientists here that were documenting what the last documentation was.
Okay, we can search for that.
Okay.
But what's your question?
Ooh, okay. Why did this project not continue? That's what I'm trying to find out. If there's any record of that through logistical stuff that's not like
Then I can
classified
answer.
stuff.
Okay, then I'll go ahead and give you, since you've got the studious trait. You're going to be blocked at every turn on this. It looks like this computer database is not going to give you access to anything about Project Genesis unless you were able to somehow skillfully hack it. But cut back to Lark. So you, yeah.
Rather easily take the storage media of the database itself.
That is exactly
Hector,
what I was
there
leaning
is
towards.
a personal log that you can access.
Carol Marcus?
No, David.
I definitely want to access David Marcus's personal log. Yes.
Again, even though the computers are functioning and everything is running smoothly, a lot of the text file here is corrupted. It looks like it was probably what's the word? Speech to text.
Got it.
Dictated.
Not written on pencil and paper.
Exactly. A lot of it was dictated. You're seeing like little pieces of what looks like one of the final personal logs.
Okay.
But you see a reference to Project Genesis. You see some disparaging marks about the Federation. And David goes into length about how he believes that he knew this day would come, that the Federation was going to turn on their scientists.
Okay.
And
that's helpful.
Yeah, and you also come across the last bit of the section where David goes into detail about how they don't know if anyone's coming for them, and they haven't heard from Regula 1 in hours, and that the Reliant has probably arrived by now.
They haven't heard from Regula 1 in hours?
On Regula 1 right now?
You are on Regula.
Regula.
Now, this is Space Lab Regula 1 was the orbiting space station in which they operated. This is the underground facility that was a part of Regula 1, but it wasn't. It was think of it like the secondary lab. But Regula 1, Space Lab Regula was in orbit, supposedly, around this planet.
Okay.
And
we're on the planet.
Underneath it, really, you're on the surface.
Regula, yeah. Okay, I got it. And they haven't heard from Regula 1.
They haven't heard from Regula 1 in
Okay.
hours.
So I have
Space Lab Regula 1. Yeah.
3 priorities right now. Okay? The first one is that I want to know how much of my character, of how much of Martinez's knowledge of Captain Kirk's life, which again, I don't know how much of this published autobiography
Sure.
was totally okayed by Starfleet and how much of it wasn't. But if he goes into detail about his son, about Carol, about the thing that he went through, about who is this man trying to kill him.
He doesn't talk about the man who's trying to kill him.
Okay.
And the only reference you can find, he doesn't really talk about Carol either, but he does talk about knowing. You do remember a chapter where Kirk was talking about what it was like, very briefly, to get to feel like a father.
Okay. Briefly.
And how it was the only thing that compared in his life to the calling he had from Starfleet.
Yeah.
The only thing that matched his desire to sail among the stars.
Yeah.
And he didn't discover it until he was...
Until it was too late.
Until it was too late.
Yeah.
And then it was taken from him.
Yeah, it's so sad. Not a lot of people know. He had a lot of sadness in his life.
He basically goes into detail about the dangers of choosing your career over family. And
he definitely chose his career.
Yeah. And that meeting his son was bittersweet and wonderful and far too brief.
This is on a personal level, this is hitting me hard. This is hitting Martinez hard.
Yeah, Martinez, I would say that you have grown up on the stories of James T. Kirk. You have never, no one really, has ever, aside from his closest companions, has ever seen Kirk in the light of total vulnerability as just a man.
It's like when you go to a museum versus when you talk to a person who knew the person. Do you know what I mean? When you get those stories and you're like, oh, that was a person.
Yep.
Versus you go to a museum and see a museum display of stuff. Oh, okay, everything's cool. How cool.
Yeah.
To actually... Okay, my other two priorities are... Doctor, Commander, we've got two things that I want to take care of here in this room before we leave this room and explore the rest of this facility, and we will be leaving it shortly. Number one, I want to see if I can find a way to take some of this data with us.
Yes, sir.
Number two, I want to know if it's possible to send some sort of signal to the Sally Ride from here using the power of this station, and in any means necessary, by any means necessary. So if it's capable of doing that.
So that sounds like it will take some amount of time. I would certainly feel more comfortable determining the nature of that life form just in case it represents some threat so that we aren't overwhelmed while we're working.
It could be a threat or it could need our help.
Either way,
That's
it's
true.
worth investigation. Would you mind doing that before we commence on those tasks?
There is a life form down here.
I know. And they may need our help. But I would rather us not meet that life form unless we were all three of us together. But I know that at least one of us needs to stay behind to potentially do this work. That we're right to stay here in this room to try to...
It could just take a few moments to clear the room.
It could.
And then we'll know.
I hate to leave this data just in case anything happens. I really do. And maybe our only chance to signal Sally Ride. I don't know how.
60 meters, sir.
Commander, if I didn't know any better,
Jones reference. I'm picturing Indy reaching for the Holy Grail and not wanting to let it go.
I don't want to choose poorly here. This is, Commander, if I didn't know any better, I'd feel like you were just itching for a
That's my
fight.
favorite movie reference ever. I say it all the time and no one gets it.
I want to ensure that you're both safe. That's my job. Not knowing makes the situation more unsafe.
It's true. All right. Okay, we're moving out. Doctor?
You all basically get up from your positions. Your helmets are still on, if I remember correctly. You just refilled the... Yeah?
Yeah,
Cool.
so we've
Okay.
got, what, 24, 48 hours of...
Well, no, you guys were able to restore the life support system in here, so you were able to
Cool.
regenerate the entire...
But even just in case something happens.
Yeah.
24.
Yes.
To the station.
You
We've
have
got
1
24
day's
hours.
supply of
and we
life
have
support.
phasers. We all have phasers. We've all
Yep.
got our standard issue phasers and everything.
Yep, that would all have been on the shuttlecraft.
Okay.
Standard
Same as
issue survival stuff on that shuttlecraft.
We're moving.
You guys begin to move down the hallway, and as you reach the area where the metal flooring starts becoming porous and rock-like, it looks like the metal hallway comes to an end and it starts becoming a natural formation, maybe like a dugout. It looks like this was
cave.
skillfully chiseled out. This cave has been chiseled, but the hallway has become a natural phenomenon as opposed to man-made now at this point.
This is incredible.
And as you proceed, the light from the lab area that you're leaving is growing dimmer and dimmer out here. There's no light shining into this area. Okay. And you guys, after a few steps in, after a while, your suits automatically activate, and that's the only light as you all walk into the dark blackness of this ancient corridor. And that's where we have to stop for our break.
No! Oh, man.
Oh, wow.
So we will be back in 10 minutes. Don't go anywhere. We're going to have a little surprise for you during the break, so stay tuned. And we will see you back here in 10 minutes.
Enjoy the break, everybody.
Okay, so we're back. Hi, everybody. Welcome back. Welcome back to Shield of Tomorrow, the Star Trek RPG show here on GNS. We are in the second half of our episode, The Orphan. The second half of part 2 of our episode of The Orphan. Let's go ahead and... I broke Amy. I did not anticipate that.
Nice math there. It's hilarious.
All right. So let's go ahead and just launch back into the episode because we've got a big mystery that's unfurling in front of all of us here. Where we last left off, the crew of the USS Sally Ride was in the underground laboratory, space lab with the underground laboratory of Regula on Regula 1. This is the remnants of what was left over from the Kirk era incident with the Genesis project. And as we proceed, you guys are currently moving down into a dark corridor. We're going to start back at the Sally Ride. Talon, you were headed back up to the bridge, if I remember correctly.
I believe so.
Do you remember where you were headed? Essentially, what's going to happen now is that Jiv and Ren are working on a solution to upgrading that sensor suite that scans for ore, the Ferengi ore scanner.
So they're on the freighter?
Yes,
Okay.
along with an engineering team.
Great.
And they're currently applying some upgrades that the Sally Ride uses, not giving away any like Starfleet technology, but basically upgrading it so that they can use it. Think of it like what Jiv has proposed using the sensor suite along with Sally Ride's sensor suite is...
I believe I proposed that.
What Jiv has proposed based off of your proposition is using...
That's better.
Is using this...
I don't like it when people take credit for my ideas.
Emotional responses.
Oh my goodness, yeah. Angry Vulcan.
Logical.
Jiv is proposing that this ship staking within proximity of the Sally Ride, we can extend shields over the ship, and the ship itself would function like a pilot fish, basically sticking close to the saucer section of the Sally Ride as we move slowly through the gravitational wake, and using both sensor suites would increase success for scanning for any potential trace of the shuttle. And so right now, you guys are over on the freighter. You and Jiv are basically waist deep in wiring, and this Ferengi ore scanner is actually... She may not have gotten ripped off. This thing is actually not bad. It looks like she was actually sold a quality product. It's not working at full potential. It doesn't... When you guys dig into this thing, what you discover is that she had no idea that she was only using it at something like 75% of its capacity. So you guys have been winning her over in a major way. She seems to get more and more excited the more you all dig in. And I will say this too. I would say that Chief Ren, is really... You're really connecting with this Sarah person. She clearly was born on a backwater planet and has spent most of her life, like, just, with her, just getting her elbows dirty, basically. Mm-hmm. And has probably spent a lot of time working all different kinds of jobs on freighters across the galaxy, or this part of the quadrant anyway. But you notice that you have a lot in common with her and her attitude towards things. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of her that you if you hadn't left that colony ages ago and joined Starfleet, this might have been you when you were 50. That's kind of the vibe you're getting from her. Although she doesn't have anywhere near your technical acumen.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
towards the end of the project, I'm going to go ahead and say, actually, let's see. Why don't you assist Jiv? So let's
Gladly.
oh my God, it's your first roll as Chief Malarin.
Nice.
All right, so
I got all this beautiful dice.
I'm going to set the difficulty here at 3. It's going to be tricky,
Okay.
but you are going to get to assist Jiv since he's got point on this.
Dope. And I just roll one thing. That's all
You're
I
gonna
can
roll one
help.
dice.
Okay.
You're going to add, in your case, I'm going to have you add your. I'm going to have you add your control and engineering.
Okay.
Add those two numbers together. What are your focuses?
Engineering, warp core, jerry rigging.
Wait. Engineering is a focus?
That's yes.
Okay. And what are the other ones?
Warp core, jerry rigging, damage control. Those are the only things that would apply.
Hey, jury rigging.
Okay.
So I'll let you have a focus. So quick refresher. What is your engineering score?
4.
4. So normally if you roll a 1, you get a critical success. If you roll a 4 or lower, you get a critical success because I'm letting you apply your focus.
Okay.
So you're going to roll 1 die, and if Jiv gets at least 1 success, then whatever you roll, if you roll successes, it'll count. If Jiv doesn't roll any successes, then whatever you roll doesn't
Anything
work.
less than a 4?
That's
No.
for double value. What's
That's
your
for
target
double the value.
Oh.
That's for your focus. So your
12.
your engineering skills 4, and your
Correct.
control is what now?
8.
8. So you add those two numbers together,
Yep.
roll underneath that, and if here we go. Okay.
I'm just yeah. Don't mess it up.
What'd you roll?
I rolled 7, so
7.
success.
So
1.
success.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh nope, Jiv gets 2 successes.
Woo!
Okay. I thought he
just
critted,
sitting here
but then
being
his focuses didn't really apply.
You
So
gotta reroute the gradient catalyst. Come on, man.
Well, wait, what was the difficulty?
Jiv stops. Huh?
What was the difficulty?
The difficulty was 3.
Oh, never mind. I thought it was.
Do we hit the
Nope.
target?
Yes.
Okay.
You don't get any momentum though.
That's okay.
Jiv stops for a second. And he goes, Chief, I'm going to tell you something, okay? You can talk to me like this, but if something ever changes, and you're the one in engineering, you're not going to be able to talk to the senior staff like this. Rue will stick their crutches up your nose. And he goes back to scanning.
What?
Forget about it. Just help me with this thing.
Are you feeling okay?
I feel fine. I'm rushed. Senior officers are missing. I got a Vulcan that's breathing down the back of my neck because we need results. It's a standard day in engineering. Let's get to work. You're gonna look at me, you're gonna work on this. He gets back to the task at hand. And you see the power levels go. And he's like, all right, I'm at 85%.
Told you it was the catalyst.
Fix the catalyst. And he pushes himself out. As it comes up to full power, Jiv stands up and it's like, there, your rock smeller will now be able to see from here to Pluto, just quite a ways away. Well, I'm all done here. Picks up his engineering kit. Says, come on, Ren. Sarah just goes, that's amazing. Thank you. That's something else.
Yeah, she's quite a beauty. I thought you got ripped off before, but once you dig her out, she's got some good guts.
That'll come in handy, that's for sure. This is gonna improve the longevity of our missions out. I mean, we are gonna be able to double our profits and salvage. With the replicator, we'll be able to stay in space for much longer periods of time. I don't know what to say. Thank you doesn't seem to cut it, but it's all I got. Thank you.
It's usually good enough.
She takes your hand and shakes it. She's like, you're a betazoid, aren't you? Your eyes give it away. I've met a lot of your kind.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. Are you from a colony world?
Could you tell?
Oh, yeah. Well, thanks.
You're doing good out here.
You're not doing so bad yourself.
Yeah. Starfleet helps.
Yes, they do. Well, let's go find your friends. And
After you.
she heads back to the bridge. You hear comm system come up. Lark, you hear Jiv's voice coming over, and as hailing frequency opens up in the comm unit, and you hear Jiv say, "Commander, this is Jiv. We got everything up and running over here. We're ready to go when you are."
All right. Ensign, laying a course to follow the gravitational wave.
Yes, sir.
Okay. The Sally Ride turns into the gravitational wake.
Oh, wait. Shields
up.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
Wait, that's right there. We had a moment. It's like, wait, extending shields for little freighter.
Yeah.
Come on,
Right.
little freighter. Come
Just
on,
because
little
it's
freighter.
standard issue and you are going into the unknown, you have
yeah.
called for a raise of shields. We're going to go to yellow alert.
Yellow alert.
So
Wait,
the
button. I love how my imaginary buttons, I'm just like hitting that big buttons.
So the crew assumes positions as
Yes.
you guys go into yellow alert. As Sally Ride pulls into the wake of the gravitational pull, the only thing to indicate that you're in some kind of gravitational wake is the reading on the sensors. There's no disruption or anything else like that, but you do see that with this freighter and this Ferengi ore scanner, with some of the enhancements and the fact that Sally Ride's computers and the scanner they're talking to each other and basically helping triangulate further into like a metallurgic scan for shuttle parts. The Sally Ride isn't necessarily able to see farther because hardly anything right now can see as far. You guys can basically see up to about, well, let's just say way over about 10 to 15 light years from now away. You guys have got some distance, but the Sally Ride can long scope it, and with this scanner, you're actually getting more detailed scans of some of the components that you're seeing in the wake.
Of the garbage.
Yes.
It looks like
we're looking for, was it tritanium?
Tritanium
Okay.
is one of the principal materials that are used, but that's the old Starfleet vessels. But yes, essentially, yes.
We need to find.
Yeah, no,
put
it's
in it, yeah.
without digging too much
for
into
the
the lore.
shuttle. Like,
Yeah.
as far as I'm concerned.
I'm assuming you already did this. That we programmed for it to, alert us
Look for
when it
birthday cakes.
specifies
Yeah.
that.
I'm kidding. Yes, no, you're looking for the shuttle. Yeah.
And birthday cakes. Is that
And
what it-
birthday cakes.
Yeah,
There's- It's all birthday
I'm
cakes.
scanning for cream soda. Man. That's
So-
easy to find.
Life forms, you precious little life forms. Where are you? Anyway, yes, Sally Ride is able to extend her scans looking for more specific. What you do find, just without having to roll, is that the captain of the Zhao was not kidding. In fact, the debris field does get marginally more dense deeper into the field itself. But go ahead and make a sensor scan.
All right.
And I'm going to give you...
Do I need to? Do I need to dodge any?
Not yet.
It seems like the shields are probably blocking most of the debris.
Shields are totally blocking the debris.
Right, but as it gets denser,
Okay,
yeah, we'll
because
see.
I'm
could become
ready
a
to
problem.
obstacle course this on.
What's that?
As this field gets denser, if it continues to get dense, yes, you'll have to start doing some dancing. But right now, the Zhao is positioned about 60 kilometers just underneath Sally Ride, and is moving into position to get closer and is going to be enveloped by the shields. You guys are going to extend shields.
Great.
So she's coming into position as you're scanning. And go ahead and make your
sensor scan.
go ahead and make your sensor scan. What are your focuses? You have something that might apply here, actually, if I remember correctly.
Oh,
Talon,
wow.
I think, has something here.
Astrophysics.
Yes, I'll let astrophysics apply here.
Do you want me to keep reading?
No, that's your focus. It would apply here. Unless
That's
you
it?
want to.
Okay.
Would Eliza like to tell us
Such
all
a
what
weirdo right
Talon
now,
has?
sorry. I'm a little loopy. You haven't noticed.
That's true. You are still coming down from the high of being around the entire cast of Star Trek Discovery and the original cast, and I believe some of the Voyager and TNG cast is there.
I didn't say it before, but I was sitting behind Dr. Phlox.
Oh, really?
And Travis, Anthony Monk. I was sitting right behind them. Sorry, I just had to get that out there. Okay, I'm ready.
Don't come
Back.
down. Bring us with you.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, I saw pictures of some of the TNG cast members were there.
Yeah.
That was pretty rad.
I was getting towels
All of
and
Star
I've
Trek
been
was
drunk
there. Anybody who could show
in
up
pirate
was there, I think.
costumes, So
So, okay, so go ahead and
not as cool,
make
though.
your roll.
Oh, okay.
So your focus will apply. Who wants to roll for the Sally Ride? She is assisting here.
Sam has the magical Sally Ride tower now. So
Okay.
One success.
Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't tell you the difficulty was 2.
Oh, great.
Yes. Difficulty was 2.
Okay.
Sure enough, yes, you were able to get a good read on the general direction of the gravitational wake. A deep space scan tells you in the general direction of where the wake is headed. It doesn't look like there's any true variance in its direction. It looks like it's headed on a pretty straight course.
Okay. So we're not orbiting. It's not like a major thing that's orbiting something else.
But the wake is large enough that it has to be. If it is a comet of some kind, it's the size of a planetoid. There's nothing else that could make this kind of. And in which case, it would be just considered a planetoid.
It's rogue.
It's gone rogue.
Do you have any momentum to spend? You do not.
We do not. I was looking at my talents.
she is studious.
You
Well,
can.
if we do want momentum,
You can
that is
give me
thing
a
we can
threat
do.
Wait,
to add momentum.
Wait. Sorry. I'm sorry.
So
What?
if you want to spend momentum that you don't have, you can elect to give me threat, and that'll give you the momentum you want.
But we can't know how much threat you currently have.
Nope.
Okay.
Unless we
But one
calculate
thread
that
is
very carefully.
one too
Nope.
many.
I haven't
to
told you
roll
this yet,
something.
Sam, but I actually vary the threat that I give myself every game so you can't count cards. I know when I'm playing with the power gamer. I know you're.
I have no idea what you're talking about, Eric Campbell.
It's RPG Rain Man or Zach Galifianakis from The Hangover. Over
Sam-
here is Sam, just like
Sam is basically Sam will count the cards. Like Sam will
a
calculate.
very beautiful mind, a very beautiful
Spin it
mind.
to roll something because I need
Sam
to
was like,
use
"Are you
this
comparing me to
talent that I'm
crazy?"
building.
And like, what exactly are you doing?
Now. So
Smart,
studious.
real smart.
Uncomfortable with pretty much all of those depictions on
So
multiple levels.
what are we? So what are we doing here?
Well, if we get that momentum,
Yeah, you want to have
We'll have to
red
immediately
dress.
spend it.
we will have to immediately spend it. Yeah. So that doesn't really help what you're saying.
If we get the momentum, can I make a roll on with my focus of
So let me just say, that
small craft?
if you gain the momentum, it would probably be smarter to have Talon spin that momentum to get a question
Well, I-
and a free question.
I
know what I mean?
I have a plan, you guys.
If you got a
I have
plan,
a
then you
plan.
could, yeah.
You could probably still do that next, right? Or
What would you like to do, Lark?
What I would love to do is to spin that momentum for an extra dice, make a roll, concentrate using my focus of small craft to try and amplify our search for the shuttle, and then hopefully succeed or do something. So I can use my untapped potential talent that I have yet to use because I'm in doofus. And
It's untapped potential.
yeah, so
nailing it.
I have to tap that is what I need to do.
She raises a good
Because
point.
then I can roll a d6 and receive bonus momentum equal to the roll of dice on that d6, and that is a really good talent that I have yet to use because
Because you're using it now.
Okay.
I'm trying to get us
now.
I'm trying to get us more momentum. Is what I'm
So,
trying to do.
so then let's find a way to do this because
Yeah.
Talon just initiated the scan herself,
Correct.
I wish we had you assist me.
which this would have been a roll to assist.
Oh,
Sorry, we didn't think of it.
But I tell you what, if you want to spend that momentum, then I'll just do a house rule here. If you want to spend that momentum, since you wanted to jump in on this, I'll let you spend that momentum and let you make an assist roll.
okay.
Which means you're getting a threat, bud.
Well, I'm going to gain threat anyway because you're
So this is an assist on the roll I just did.
Control.
But you so real quick. So you gave me a threat so you could get that momentum. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Is that what's happened?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
now she's saying she wants to use that momentum we just got. So instead of getting
Well,
it for obtain information,
If I assisted,
is that
we can
so
just can we
not-
go back in time? And I was
You can't.
assisting.
It would just. I'm just gonna say that you can do this. It would just make more sense to have Talon spin that to ask more for more
What I'm trying to
information.
do is
Oh, okay.
generate us more momentum because
I see.
Yeah, because
Okay. Yes.
if I succeed, then I can roll a d6 and use
that's
that
right.
number of d6 to
That's
it's
right.
been on an assist, right? She would need to just do her own roll.
It just says whenever a character succeeds at a task for
That's
which
correct.
they fought.
The
what?
trait
What?
the trait untapped potential is actually pretty rad.
So it's any roll, not like so it can be the assist
it has
roll.
to be on a task for which I bought one or more additional dice with momentum. So
That's
I guess
correct.
it would not apply to an assist. Unless I'm using this momentum to be like, oh, I'm assisting you now. How convenient. No? If it's an assisted roll, I can use a momentum to get a second.
Let me see how I want to roll. Let me see how I want to roll.
Sorry,
this.
I'm trying to MacGyver my way into this.
But here's the thing,
like
though.
this,
But here's the thing, though, is because even
Yeah.
though we're like 11 episodes in,
Yeah.
the truth of the matter is we're still pretty good at. We're still learning this game,
Right.
And you're still learning how to use Lark to her full potential, even though you've got the untapped potential feat.
She's
So-
untapped.
I'm just
So-
always happy to see rules lawyering.
I'm gonna say that this would have been an opportunity for you to jump in and ask for an assist. You're doing it
Right.
after the fact, but I don't want to come down on you for that because you're still learning how to use Lark.
Okay.
So knowing that you're making the roll to generate momentum, but you can't make the roll unless you spend momentum. Plus, there is a risk involved using your untapped potential trait.
What?
If you roll any effects on that action die, I gain threat.
Oh, crap. I didn't know about that one.
If you roll a 5 or a 6, I get threat.
Oh, poopy.
However, if you roll a 1, you gain a momentum. If you roll a 2, you gain 2 momentum. So it's
and then 3 or 4 get nothing?
that's correct. So it's
Oh,
a 50-50.
sorry, guys. So
but-
I thought it was like a regular d6 where you'd be like, I got 6 momentum.
So it's a 50-50 chance, but you can generate momentum for the crew. It's up to you. It's a risk. You can take it.
That's really risky.
If you want to do it, then I'll let you do it without spending the momentum since we're going to...
Ooh.
That's what I was about to rule.
But I
is
have
that-
to spend momentum in order to do it.
That's correct. But now you have it to spend. I wasn't going to let you have that momentum because I was going to give you the roll by spending it. See what I'm saying? Everyone following this?
Not really.
So, in order to give you the roll, my ruling was going to be, well, sure, I'll let you do it after the fact, but it's going to cost you momentum to balance it out.
Oh.
But I'm going to rule now, since we're still learning the character, I don't want to penalize you since you're actually learning how
I'd
to use
have
your
to
character
spend the
sheet,
momentum anyway to get the extra dice.
which you wouldn't have had because I was going to have you spend it to even get the roll.
Oh.
So now I'm giving you the roll, so now you can
Oh,
spend
can
it.
we keep what I just rolled?
No,
'Cause I-
I'm not going to let you do that. So
I got 2
decide
crits
now.
just now.
Decide
Oh.
now what you want to do with that momentum.
Ladies and gentlemen of the crew.
I'm confused though, because are we still talking about an assist or not?
Yes.
Is this
Yes.
a separate roll?
I would have.
We're still talking about the assist.
I would have been. It would have been as if you were doing the sensor right now and be like, "Oh, Captain, I just had an
Tina's head is
idea.
exploding.
I just had an idea. Let me try and use my magical knowledge for small craft."
All right.
and this is
Bonnie,
Let-
do
let-
whatever you want.
the point of this is to use your small crafts to help locate the shuttle, or what is
Yeah,
the?
to use my knowledge in small craft to hone the signal or to, you know what? Here,
No.
let's just we should just keep
everybody. Hold
refine
on for a
it. Yeah,
second.
yeah.
Hold on for a second. So, Lark wanted to use their knowledge of small craft to assist in the scan for a small craft, but they announced it after the roll had taken place. I originally was going to rule that I was going to let them apply the assist if they were willing to spend the momentum, but then I've retroactively said no, never mind, because we're beginners of the game and I don't want to penalize Bonnie because she's learning how to use Lark. So instead, I'm letting you keep that momentum.
Okay.
Bonnie wants to spend that momentum to activate a trait that gives them a 50-50 chance of gaining more momentum, which is the whole purpose of this roll.
Yeah, that was the
because
only
you've
reason I
already
was gonna do
succeeded,
that.
but Bonnie wants to try to generate momentum for the bridge crew.
However, if I fail at this,
If you
and
fail at
just
this,
more
I get a threat.
That might be not worth the risk.
I gained 1 threat to get, yes.
to get this momentum.
Worth it. Do it.
to
Do
roll.
it. Do it.
All
Worth
right.
it. Do it.
All right,
So do it.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
risky business. Here we go. Spinning the
We got
momentum.
through
Here we
that.
go.
Understand?
All right.
Not risky business.
Control
but-
con,
okay.
I'm assuming.
You know my Shirley.
No.
Control engineering.
Risk is our business.
No. Reason.
Cruise.
Reason and con.
Okay.
I'm going to say reason con.
Okay.
Tell me what you get.
Ooh. 3 successes.
Butte.
Bam!
A 1 is a crit. One is it like a crit, like a 1.
How do you get 3 successes on 1 die?
Because I used the
Oh, you bought
momentum
an
to get an
extra
extra
purchase.
die. That's I had to do that
So
to use.
then roll a d6
Wow.
Okay.
and tell me what you get.
Okay.
2, 2, 2, 2, 2.
What is the Starfleet symbol?
Balls.
Starfleet
that's an
symbol means
effect.
I just gained a threat.
A 5 or 6?
Oh,
That's a 5 or 6.
Sorry,
right?
guys.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Because the little starbursts are 1 and 2.
But you did because you rolled so well, you still generated
Oh,
momentum.
that's right. We got 2 momentum.
That's
All
correct.
those successes.
Oh, there you
You
go.
still
Great.
generated
So,
momentum.
There we go.
Okay.
So I did something right. This is great.
Yes.
Gina, did you get all that?
Question.
Yeah, momentum. We did it.
That's what I got.
The effect also counts as 1, right?
Nope. Oh, yes.
No.
On the dice, yes. The effect counts as
Because
1.
it does say, like, receives bonus momentum equal to the roll of the dice and adds 1 point to threat if an effect is rolled. So does
we
it give her the
technically
momentum
did get
and
one
give you a
momentum.
threat?
Okay.
I'm asking.
If you got the
says
rule in
and.
front of you, I'm going to go with it.
It says,
But let's
It
move
does.
on because we got bogged
Yeah.
down in this.
Sorry.
But you'll gain a momentum, I gain a threat.
Thanks for rolling
So you
so
guys
awesomely.
juiced up on that.
so 3 momentum. Okay.
Let's say to the rescue.
Okay.
Dun, 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 dun.
Can we know the results of that scan?
Yes.
I'm going back to my helm now.
Great job, Ensign Sage.
So the truth of the matter is, the Star Trek adventures, once you actually understand the rules, they sound complex, but in fact, they're quite simple. You just gotta.
If you guys at
Yeah.
home have any questions, just tweet at Gina and she'll clear everything right up.
This is how it goes. You do a thing, and then something happens sometimes.
That's true.
Checks out.
I've been forgetting this whole time, and you just picked it up separate.
By George, I think she's got it.
Okay,
It's so
let's move
easy.
on. So you are. So you've generated the. So what you can do now? Let's see. So here's the thing: is with that scan, you're not gonna gain any new information because you didn't spend any momentum to ask any further questions, and you can't spend the momentum now because they were generated by her roll.
Okay.
So I'm drawing the line there. I'll let you generate momentum, but I'm not gonna let you just bend time and get that back.
The
So
line must be drawn here.
yes, the line was no father.
Okay.
I will make them pay. No more
just
Star
need
Trek
to
quotes.
confirm.
We're playing Star Trek. No more Star Trek quotes. But what we can do is when the next scene comes up, I'm going to let you roll again because you're going to be further along in the scene.
Great.
So hang on to the momentum.
All right.
And the Sally Ride proceeds forward into the gravitational wake. Sensors with here. What I will say though, with that many successes, I will go ahead and give this to you. The sensors are detecting what might be a large mass, about 2, maybe 2.5 hours, headed on this course direction. Here's something else Jiv is going to reveal to you. You are not. First of all, Jiv not only would recommend that you don't try it, but Jiv points out in the course of the scanning that you will not be able to go to warp in the wake in this gravitational wake. Warp drive is not recommended. Yeah.
Just kidding.
Once we get close to it, we will be subject to its gravity
They blew up our ship.
even more so.
Yeah, but judging from the scans, it doesn't look like it's an unusual like.
Okay, it's something that
There's
our
no
ship
concern
can
about the
handle.
gravity,
Okay.
the force of the gravity, but it's like you can't. It's
We'll be
you-
too close to a planetary object to go to warp. Is that?
That's correct. You wouldn't be able to establish a stable warp field inside of inside the gravitational wake.
We're also driving
of
a
this ship.
freighter, so it's probably not the best idea.
Probably not the
anyway.
best idea. Although technically, you guys could totally link up your systems and go to warp together. Also, there's the fact huge debris field. Going to warp through
Right.
the debris field, even though the deflector shield would help you out with that, not advised.
We could probably go on a little bit of a higher impulse.
However,
though.
Jiv does tell you that full impulse is totally fine.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
already on it.
Okay. Sally Ride proceeds forward. We're going to jump back now to the Genesis cave.
I'm excited.
You guys are moving through the cave. You move about, as I said, 60 meters into the cave. And eventually, your tricorder begins to pick up a huge opening.
Who's tricorder?
Who's got their tricorder out? I'm imagining everybody probably has it out.
I probably am a little more
let you
focused
pick.
on
Who's
not
on blasty
that.
mode?
I'll let you
Yeah.
pick whoever
Commander
it
Rue's
is.
phaser.
Okay.
I'm gonna
so
say Dr.
Shishiros?
probably.
You're detecting.
on that life sign.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah, I figure
detecting.
you're
Yes. Okay. So as you're getting closer to the edge of this tunnel, you're detecting an incredibly large cavern space. probably about close to maybe 1.5 kilometers high, and maybe close to almost 2 kilometers wide.
It's massive.
It's massive. And as you proceed inside, the life scan, the scanning for the life form, it does become a lot more clear. You're picking up definitely biological signs. Organics, plant life. As you're moving in. There is no light in here. Eventually, as you guys start to creep deeper into the area,
Captain, there's a cave coming up, big enough for a small city back home. And I think some plants around here.
and right when Throlo says that, you guys begin to realize that the ground you're walking on isn't just stone anymore.
I'll focus my light on it. What is it? What are we looking at?
Kind of bring it down. You see strange tendrils of organics, plant life, perhaps.
Roots?
Possibly roots. Whatever that was, it looks like it's been dead for quite a while. It's browned over, and there's some ice crystals that have collected, but a lot of it looks like it's borderline mulch, essentially, at this point. It is decayed significantly.
Is there still an atmosphere down here?
Not much of one, no.
Ooh, good thing we have our suits on.
Yeah.
Okay.
But as you do creep deeper into the cave, you start detecting traces of carbon dioxide, traces of methane. There are gases down here that could conceivably be the result of organic life. And eventually you all come to... The ground at this point completely changes over to sort of this dead plant material. It's a combination of stone, but a lot of like crunching sounds as you're walking over. And at this point, I need everyone to make a security check. This will be a con security check.
Like control.
Control, yes.
Cool.
Control security check.
Anyone who wants to spend a momentum to bump their security to 5, do that.
Is it worth
if you
it?
need to.
I've got a 3. But
I'm at a 4. I'm fine. Doctor, if you want to bump it up to a 5, I mean, it's.
I mean, it's the fact that all 3 of you are doing it. I think you might be okay. Right?
Difficulty?
Those can go either way.
That's true.
Difficulty here is going to be 3.
Oh.
is that a once per scene kind of deal?
No, it's forever.
Oh.
All the time. It's one of my talents.
Sam just does it.
I just do it. I would like momentum, honestly, for an extra die.
Okay, you take that.
Yeah. But yeah.
I'll take my chances. I don't want to take all my momentum.
Whatever.
Difficulty is 3. Tell me what you get.
Oh, no.
Doctor, what'd you get?
I got a success and a complication.
I'm so happy.
Is this a detect danger roll?
Nope.
Shit. Damn. I would have had a bonus.
Yeah, so it's either 3 or 4 depending on the nature of the roll because I rolled under my focus number.
Actually, yes.
What? Detect danger?
Yes, it would be.
Okay, stand by.
What is your bonus?
I printed it. I haven't used it
That
yet.
counts.
Sorry.
We're up to 3.
Was that a Talon snort laugh?
Yeah, it's the first of its kind.
Oh, no. We are
spreading.
doing this. This is happening.
Oh my god.
Talon and
That's not a no-no, that's a hooray.
Talon and Sage are connecting on a whole different level.
Amy, not so much.
When I attempt a task to detect danger or hidden enemies, reduce the difficulty by 1, but I only got 1 success and a complication, and the difficulty was 3, so that doesn't cut it.
Nope.
Sorry.
What'd you guys get?
I got 0 successes.
Okay.
And it's either 3 or 4 depending on whether it's a focus for me.
What's your focus again?
I have martial arts, ranged weaponry, shipboard tactical systems, athletics, intimidation, and insight.
Oh yeah, no, then none of those would apply.
Okay, then 3.
3 successes?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll let that stand.
Excuse me.
Rue, you're making your way deeper into this cave area, and one of the things that begins to occur to you is, judging by what Throlo has said about the size of this cave complex, it's becoming pretty apparent because you can start to hear, just relying on your senses, you realize you have entered some kind of cavern because the sound around here has changed significantly. You can hear distant echoes, but you're not entirely sure what they are or where it's coming from. Your footsteps are... If you've ever been out in the middle of absolutely nowhere, and it sounds like the sound just, it happens and then it's muted, and then it's just like, yeah, it's kind of like that feeling that you are in sort of the belly of the whale, so to speak, as you're kind of moving in. Your crutch crunches down against the ground, and two things. First of all, you are aware that you've come to what looks like you're about a few meters away from what looks like a cliff that just, the light just shines off into total darkness. The next thing you notice, though, is greenery. Plant life that seems to have life to it. It's not just dead organic matter. And the moment your light shines on it, you see it goes and pulls away from the light. And as you're watching it, you guys kind of hear this. Rue has stopped suddenly. What the two of you notice is all around you, suddenly, these beautiful, soft, blue lights begin to fade into existence. All around you.
What kind of lights? Man-made lights?
Bioluminescent would be the most accurate way of putting it.
Bioluminescent, so like a flower that's glowing.
Yeah, I don't want to... I know that a lot of people aren't particularly fond of James Cameron's Avatar, but think of it sort of along the same lines of that bioluminescent sort of...
Like floating lights almost.
Not floating, but what you're seeing now is a reaction from organic life that was all around you and you didn't see it in the darkness.
Like lichen?
What's that?
Like lichen or moss on the wall?
Yeah, like fungus and whatnot. You're beginning to, as you're looking around, you're beginning to see that this whole complex looks like it has somehow grown an entire ecosystem.
In 70 years.
You're not sure how this is down here.
Yeah.
Plant life should not be down here. It should not be able to survive. But what's incredible, too, is that it seems to be moving, and it's reacting to you all.
Did you tell us about the methane as a point of order?
I had not unless
You can say you have. You can say you have. This is all. I was giving you your findings.
Relaying all my results. Yeah.
Yeah, I would. I mean,
Sweet, I can put my phaser away and not ignite the methane.
I would say that the gases in here are not approaching dangerous levels. So you probably wouldn't have to worry about that, but it's pretty smart.
Commander, keep...
I'll never forget my D&D game where one of my wizards cast fireball when we were in the middle of a swamp.
Yeah.
And the DM got real clever about swamp gas and blew us all up.
Yeah, it's real bad, and I'm
Good old second edition.
So I'm babbling a little bit about, like, this place is incredible.
Yeah.
There's active biological processes giving rise to a sort of an atmosphere inside the cave.
What you'll also notice, Thrello, is suddenly your tricorder is picking up life everywhere. And what's unusual about this is you should have the enormity of the biological scan that you're getting off of your tricorder right now. It almost like alerts you. You should have been able to detect this from the shuttle. It's almost like suddenly
It's coming alive now?
it's hard to say, but
waking
suddenly now the life is everywhere and your tricorder is going crazy. Beeping and letting you know that you are completely surrounded by organic life.
Captain, there is life everywhere. We should have seen this from space.
Either it's responding to us or the life support we kicked in down the hall.
I honestly cannot describe this place at all. This is miraculous. This is incredible.
Yeah, to match that, those little bioluminescent signatures, they don't stop. They begin to spread out across the entire cavern, and gradually it begins to fill up that whole kilometer arc. And it takes...
Is that the only source of light? Is there any other source of light?
It's in this cavern, yes. There's no other source of light. And after about 30 to 45 seconds, this entire place looks like a small night sky of blue light scattered across the enormous I mean, you're finally getting an idea of how big the cavern is, because it's almost like the life here has grown up along the walls and has encompassed all of it.
I want to go.
Doctor, what are the genetics of this stuff? What are we looking at?
Fascinating.
Yeah, you can run another scan at this point.
This has to do with Project Genesis. This has to do with the botany that was involved, with the molecular biology that was happening.
Amy, I'll let you make a medicine check on this.
Awesome.
Good to know.
So you can do reason medicine. And you have,
spend one.
you have, what is it, xenobiology?
I do.
What else do you have?
Genetics.
I'm genuinely
You know
interested
what?
in the genetics right here.
I'll let you apply xenobiology here.
Cool.
One momentum.
I'm spending one.
Did we?
That's cool.
Yeah, you get a cautious that
We
way.
had an
Go for it.
extra one from that.
Now,
Sam got
No,
three.
I didn't get. I rolled the target numbers.
Yeah.
My focus didn't apply.
I'm just gonna tip you off that you're scanning organic plant life.
It was 3.
So
they had to get 3.
I'm just gonna go ahead and tell you from GM to player,
right,
the fact that I'm letting you use xenobiology in this scan is kind of a hint. So go ahead and make your roll,
You have an extra dice?
because
Get
it's
three.
Throllo with that expertise would notice if that was a thing here. So go ahead and make your roll.
This plant life constitutes
pretty
one larger
biological,
organism.
Yeah,
Possibly.
it's alive. It's got biology.
So I can't wait.
Make your roll. Difficulty
You said reason
is
medicine?
Yeah, difficulty's 2.
How about 3?
3 successes.
Yeah.
Okay, get that momentum.
She's on it.
It's alive.
This is the most complex, advanced plant organism you have ever scanned. There's nothing like this on record. This, Throllo, is a new life form.
Seek out new life.
This has never been documented.
Captain, this is the most complex plant organism I have ever scanned. There is nothing like this on the record.
There's more. The very baseline genetics of this organic life is in a state of rapid fluctuation.
Changing as we speak.
It's doing more than that. If you didn't know any better, the age of this far surpasses 70 years. The way this organic life is existing, it looks like the best way to describe it in simplest terms is it looks like somebody pressed the fast forward button on evolution.
There's rapid cycling going on. It can't affect us, can it?
You don't know. That data isn't available on this scan, but this plant life, the complexity of the organism, the size of this organism, from that scan, whatever this thing is, this plant life is, it has managed to survive underneath the surface of a dead moon with no sunlight or clear source of nutrients.
Yeah.
And somehow, because of perhaps the speed on which this plant life is evolving, it was able to compensate in ways that life could never. It would never have a chance to do this. This is a singular life form that should not be capable of existing. And yet, because of the speed of its evolution, has actually managed to get ahead of the curve and essentially cheat Mother Nature.
It's thriving down here.
It
Captain
has found
Martinez,
a
we are
way to
standing
live.
in a miracle.
This is thermodynamically. Damn.
I think I'm beginning to understand what we're looking at here. There's no way that this is a discovery, because everything you just said, we're getting that from the doctor, right? That this is older than 70 years.
I mean, yes.
That this is hyper evolved.
But here's what you would take away from that. Is it's really difficult to tell how old it is because of the fact that it's evolving so fast. It could be 70 years old, but it's aged like it's thousands of years old. The rate of evolution involved with this life form has made it so it's actually kind of impossible to tell its age. But it could be, it is displaying an evolutionary track that borders on millions of years old. But again, you can't really pinpoint it, because even as you're looking at the scans, it's almost as if the life form itself is in a constant state of adaptation. And in fact, the bioluminescent may not have been a part of the system until you shone light on it. That's how fast it is adapting
That's
to its
terrifying.
surroundings.
That's frankly, that's terrifying.
The cellular turnover rate alone to allow that rate of adaptation.
It is.
Incredible.
It is the most genetically biological, it is the most biologically advanced plant life form you've ever seen.
I want to look around. I want to look around on this little platform thing around this little
You're
edge of
on
the
a
cliff.
ledge.
This ledge. I want to look around this ledge.
As you move through sort of like the dead area, you do come to the cliff.
Okay.
There's really nothing else here.
How? Okay. Help
Can you
me.
take a sample, Captain?
If you can find a detached one.
Yeah.
We don't want to make it angry.
You know what you just said, Commander, is not completely insane, frankly.
I do so strive, sir.
Help me out here with this, Eric. At what point is Martinez and the crew here going to be able to make this connection? Because I keep thinking in the back of my head, this is Starfleet classified. Starfleet classified.
There's no doubt in Martinez's mind at this point that this has to have something to do with the classified Project Genesis. There's no doubt in your mind at this point. There's just too many weird things happening, and
Why was this classified?
you don't know. That, you've got nothing. And if this has something to do with Project Genesis, then it's entirely possible that Starfleet might be responsible for what you're standing in right now.
Responsible. Commander, what are your thoughts? What are we looking at here?
I assumed the doctor could make a more keen analysis of its biology, but
I'm quite sure that the doctor can make that kind of analysis, but I want to know about your instinct right now.
As that question's being asked, Rue, you're about to answer the captain's question when you become aware of movement behind you. All of you are kind of focused on the captain at the moment, but Rue, just with that roll from earlier, I'm kind of carrying it over, your hackles go up. You kind of feel like something's behind you. It's that instinct kicking in.
all right, I whirl around, see what we got.
So Rue's answering your question and stops and just whirls, just suddenly pivots on that crutch. And you see something just beyond the border of the light, probably close to 8.5 feet in height. It might be bipedal, but there is definitely something standing there, just beyond the light.
So now that I'm facing it, does my head beam extend that range? Does it move back? Does it?
It kind of gets enveloped in the darkness. With all the bioluminescence, your light beam kind of just filters off and it's picking up dust motes. You're just able to make out the shape of something very large.
All right, I stay at a low ready.
Yeah, I take out my phaser.
Okay, you just pull out your phaser.
Commander, what are we looking at?
After a few moments, it and starts to lurch forward, just kind of slowly, kind of awkwardly, just. And what you see moving into the light is indeed 8 feet tall. It doesn't resemble anything humanoid, but it does look like something that is using bipedal motion, like the leafy kind of like fungal stalks that are holding this thing up look awkward to it, like maybe it's learning how to use it for the first time perhaps. But the way it kind of lumbers forward, it doesn't have a clear head. Instead you see like sort of like petaled leaves that have glowing veins of just like chlorophyll, just like pulsing through it. This thing that lurches forward, if you use your imagination, you might think you're looking at a humanoid-looking like figure. And as it enters the light, it pauses for a second and hovers there and doesn't move any closer.
Doctor, this may be yet another advancement of our plant. I'm physically interposing,
What exactly are you doing?
I'm just body blocking those two, so...
Is that your stance?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just in front of them, and I'm not...
We're both
I'm
behind.
not
Okay.
hitting
You
at
watch
anything.
This thing is just lumbering there,
I know.
and then it goes.
Yep.
And if you didn't know any better, you would say it's either mimicking Rue or it's ready for a fight. You don't know. But it basically does what Rue does. It goes.
I wave.
Well, looks like we've got a mimic on our hands.
Give it a
people.
few more minutes and it'll develop a vocal mechanism.
It might.
Look at the rate it developed by
Language.
pedalism.
Keep talking.
Hello. Hi. I'm Rafael Martinez. I'm captain of the USS Sally Ride. Can you understand me?
It just kind of sways a little bit.
Doctor,
that's
give us
good.
a scan.
That's good. That's good. We don't mean you any harm. You seem to be an incredibly intelligent life form, and we're making first contact right now. We are of the Federation.
So your scan, I'll just go ahead and tell you, now that you've got this thing up in front of you, it is probably, this whole place, this ecosystem is dependent on this cavern. Like this creature is definitely attached to everything. It looks like this place was probably once a vibrant ecosystem of a variety of plant life. And that over, I mean, your tricorder's telling you eons, but it couldn't be. It has evolved into a singular entity because you're detecting basically the same biological signature running through this creature that's in front of you all throughout the cavern. It's almost like it found a focal point and now it's standing in front of you.
Doctor, what are we looking at?
It's the same organism that surrounds us. But I think it's trying to connect with us.
Do you mean like some sort of a hive mind mentality?
It's difficult to speculate about the nature of the intelligence, but the signature is the same. Everywhere we look, it once could have been an entire ecosystem. I'm not sure sustained by what, but
Macroorganism.
Yes, it is. I'm gonna
This would be a
keep.
great time for the distraction dance.
We should continue to keep trying to communicate with it.
The whole cavern just suddenly goes,
Vocal mechanism.
rumbles. The thing reacts to the rumbling. It goes, and kind of slips back a little bit.
Okay, all right. What?
Perhaps not a singular
Seismic rumbles?
desire?
Seismic rumbles from the feel of it. You feel it underneath your feet for a second. And if you didn't know any better, you would say this thing wasn't expecting that. We're going to cut back to the Sally Ride. Go ahead and mark off momentum. Talon, I'll let you make another roll.
Yeah.
If you want to scan.
May I assist?
Yes, please.
Go ahead, and who wants to roll for the Sally Ride?
Difficulty?
Difficulty's 3.
Okay.
Just check this again. Difficulty is 3.
I'm on the Sally Ride.
Yeah. What's up?
Should I spend a momentum to?
Do you want me to spin a momentum to get an extra die, and that way I can use my talent again? Can we do that?
I also do have the studious. If I
Yes, you
spend
do.
a momentum.
Oh, that's true. An extra
Also,
question
don't
might-
you get, remember, as a science officer?
science officer.
Remember Nathan
Yep. Thank you, Nathan.
tweeted us and
So
let us know?
let me spend that momentum.
Okay.
So I can do both of those things.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
So I will be assisting. And the difficulty is 3, but
Difficulty's
now
3.
2, because of the Sally
That's
Ride.
correct. Now it is 2. Thank you for reminding me.
What comes in play? You said astrophysics in general
Yes.
here. Okay, great.
So your
Would
focus is
small
coming into
craft
play.
come in handy? this?
Not for this roll.
Okay.
then
Not for this roll.
Computers?
Just to
No, none of your focus is going to come into play on this
and
one.
just to
For the
clarify,
assist.
when there's a focus in play, is it the science that
It's
number?
your discipline.
Oh, yeah.
So whatever your discipline is, which I believe is the science.
Yeah, that's my highest discipline.
That's good. Okay, so then if you roll that number or lower, it's a
Great.
critical success.
Nice. All
What
right.
would I be doing? Control con?
Yes.
Okay.
I'll say control con. Make your roll.
Okay, I got 3 success.
So
Four with
4
me.
total.
And what about Sally?
Who's rolling for the Sally Ride?
Oh,
Is that you?
who is
Chief? Roll for Sally?
Yeah.
Chief, go ahead and make a roll for Sally Ride. Roll a d20.
We need the.
What'd you roll?
9. It's
9?
So 5 successes.
So 5 successes. Well done. Sally Ride detects it.
So
Well done.
So you guys juice up on some momentum. Are you going to spend any of that for further information?
I already get.
That's right, you get one automatically, yeah.
And a science officer one.
That's correct.
So I get
Okay.
2 questions.
All right.
wait. So we got 3 momentum, correct? Or 4?
I thought the difficulty was 3.
the difficulty was 3.
But
You guys
lowered
rolled.
it to 2 because of Sally.
That's correct. That's right. All right. So
Yeah.
you detect a dense debris field up ahead.
What's up?
You detect a dense debris field up ahead.
Okay.
It's about 15 minutes away. The Sally Ride is going to have to navigate that debris field if it wants to get any closer, but it does get pretty intense. And it's not just made up of metal, it's made up of all sorts of lots of crystal-like objects. It's starting to, the halo that's beginning to gather around this gravitational wake, it's almost starting to look like you're passing into the wake of a comet. It's not so intense as a comet, but you are beginning to see sort of like the waves of energy off the side of the Sally Ride's shields, indicating that you are probably passing through gases and ice fields that have collected in the wake of this gravitational pull. What are your 2 questions?
Okay. Well, you said we can see very far ahead.
Yes, and
So-
you also have a course heading. It looks like everything has remained very constant in which direction this thing is moving.
I want to see what is this mass. I want to get a scan of this mass, if possible, or any information about this
Sure.
mass that's up ahead.
Whatever it is, it's definitely a planetoid.
Planetoid.
I would say at this point, it would be, Talon would totally theorize that it's a rogue planet.
Yep.
Are we able to scan for any life forms yet? Oh, sorry, that's not
Well,
the
that is.
question.
I mean, that is. Well, go ahead. Yeah.
I would have told you if you had gotten life forms.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'll just tell you right now. That would have been part of the scan. That's something the computers would have picked up immediately. So this is a more in-depth question
Okay.
that Talon can sort of theorize or hypothesize and work out in their mind right now.
So we are already. Our sensors are up and running, just full blast. So
Yep.
we know there's no life forms yet. That we're not picking up any life forms yet. We know there's a planetoid. We don't know what class it is yet. I'm wondering if that's helpful. Well, yeah, that's helpful because then if they crash landed there, but no, it wouldn't. I would know that it wouldn't have an atmosphere because it's a rogue.
from itself.
Yeah, it's just not gonna. Yeah.
It
Okay.
would, yeah, if it did have an atmosphere, it doesn't have one now.
Yeah. Right.
Just-
So I'm trying to think what a good second question would be. Yeah, I just
How
want to know
close we
where
can
that
get there
shuttle is.
safely, like how close we can get to the planetoid safely without getting pulled into its own gravitational pull or something like that might be useful.
I guess it sounds like from the description, it sounds like once we get past that dense field, we'll be okay, right? Because the gravitational pull of this particular planetary mass is not so much that Sally couldn't navigate it easily.
Yeah, we could probably.
The gravitational field, I will say this, that the wake that you guys have been traveling through doesn't actually appear to be growing that much stronger as you go.
So it's just this
So you
dense,
get the
massive.
you get the impression that this thing has been traveling for some time, and it's accumulated an incredible mass of space garbage and debris and matter as it's been traveling through space. There's nothing to indicate in the wake that it's gotten more intense.
Okay. So the next.
What's the next question? Your final question. You've got, you know that it's traveling in a straight line. You know that it's a planetoid.
I got it. Just ask Eric like how he's doing. Like just check in with him. See how he's doing. Because we never know. We never ask him.
Obtain information.
Game Master, how are you this
Trying to get some momentum here.
Yeah, exactly. Take away some threat.
Too much coffee. I gotta go to the bathroom. How are you doing?
All right, good to know. I'm good. Yeah, good. More awake now. I had some chocolate.
You listen
Right on.
if you take a break, buddy.
So, yeah.
We will perform shenanigans.
I would like to know. I want to know the risk.
I had a question, but I don't think it affects.
Yeah. Okay. I have one.
Well, like, okay,
Sidebar.
so like, if,
Confirm.
so if our sensors are connected to the metal sensor, is there a way to, would we be able to detect metal on the planetoid?
I'll give you that without taking up your question. The sensors are designed to detect metal in the planetoid.
So we would.
They're ore detectors.
So we're
So you would-
detecting metal.
No,
We're not
You're-
detecting metal yet.
no, you haven't detected the planetoid yet.
Right.
But the question, but you were saying, would we be able to detect metal in the planetoid?
Oh yes.
I'll tell you now.
So
yes.
we're getting
Yes.
closer. Okay. So, I
getting
misunderstood the whole concept.
Yeah.
I thought we
You're
were
still too
I
far
thought-
off. You're about 15 minutes away from the debris field, and after the debris field is probably going to be the planetoid.
Understood.
You know what I would like to know? I would like to know what is the risk of navigating this debris field. What are we at?
good
Like,
question.
are our shields going to be safe? Are we going to get through this?
Percentage.
Okay. Yeah,
I'll
I
answer
would like
that.
percentage.
Judging Talon using her incredible mind, is able to just see the pattern and the way the debris field is intensifying. It's going to take some fancy flying the closer you get.
But it's possible.
Yes.
And is it safe
If you got a
relatively?
good pilot at the helm, what's that?
It's relatively safe.
Good thing you got a
Relatively, yes.
Great pilot.
And there's no other way around it, sounds like, so.
Not if you want to stay on the trail.
All right. Okay. I have what I need.
All right. So we're going to go ahead and fast forward a few minutes, about 15 minutes pass as the Sally Ride is heading into the debris field.
I'd like to have a moment, just a role playing before we go
Yeah.
in. Ensign Sage, will you meet me in my ready room?
Yes, Captain. Commander.
We walk over to the ready room and enter. Ensign Sage, I have no doubts in your abilities, but I do have to ask if you feel up to the task. Before you answer, I would like to remind you that your captain, your executive officer, and the chief medical officer of this ship, their lives are in the balance.
I'm completely and 100% aware of the risks. Captain, I'll be honest with you. I feel like I can fly through this. It is not going to be easy with the freighter behind us, because I'm not only going to have to compensate for Sally Ride, but I'm also going to have to make sure that the freighter behind us is safe as well. How big, Eric? How big is the freighter? Is there's no way to?
It's sizable. It's gonna,
There's no way to bring it onto our ship. No. Okay.
Yeah, or
No.
docking.
I was just wondering.
It's
I mean,
about-
we got the
it's a
dump
little
shuttle,
over-
we got the dump-
I was wondering that too.
Yeah,
I
no.
was-
It's a full-blown freighter. Your ship will support shuttlecraft, but this freighter is a little over half the size of the saucer section.
Yeah.
Can we dock it somehow?
Yeah.
Like squinched together?
You're practically docked as it is.
Okay,
Yeah.
we're as close as we can get.
Yeah.
All
I
right.
feel, Captain, if we were going to plan on flying through this debris, not just for the Sally Ride's sake, but for their sake, I would want them to be at a safer distance and out of this debris field. I feel like if I have to maneuver both ships through this, our chances of succeeding and getting closer to the planetoid would be not as high. I could do it, but I'm just giving you using your logical senses, I feel like it would be more logical to make sure that they were at a safer distance
Do you
than
mean
trying to
closer
fly.
or further from our ship?
I feel like we should pull them out of the. They should head out of the gravitational field. Maybe they could go shopping a little bit in the area for some garbage, and we can continue and maneuver through this debris field. I don't know how Captain Sarah Goldstein would feel about this, about not going further with us, but I'm just saying I could possibly do it, but our chances of getting both of us through safely is a little bit higher. It's a little bit more risky.
I understand your concerns, Ensign. Unfortunately, I do not think... I'll say this. The reason why I have entrusted Sarah Goldstein to accompany us on this mission is because we need every advantage possible. We have 3 senior officers, the captain of this ship, whose lives are endangered, and every chance that we can get to find them and detect their shuttle, anything that can help us, I do not want to lose that advantage.
That's true. Okay, I do have an idea, Captain. If we could keep a channel open with Captain Goldstein, maybe find the best pilot they have on their ship. If we can keep a con open with them, to where if I can maneuver through and they stay right on our tail and maneuver through with us, we could possibly both get through and keep them within our shield range. It's just going to be tough, but if they're willing to risk it too, then we can do it.
I believe that is a very logical plan. Ensign Sage.
Then let's fly.
I want to commend you for your strategy and your foresight.
Thank you, Captain.
I believe that you will navigate us safely through, and we will find our captain. But of course, there is a chance we will not. And in
We can all die.
in that case, Ensign Sage, I want you to know I take no pleasure in being called acting captain. If I had my way, I would be in my lab, scanning the data we found at Citrion 7. I would be in the lab using my naturally given skills to help. I do not take pleasure in being in the captain's seat. Having you at the helm does help me feel that we can succeed in this mission.
Thank you very much, Captain. Well, the one thing we can look forward to is seeing the captain's face when we tell him that we have a piece of the Enterprise in the cargo bay.
I agree. It will be interesting to see his reaction. Do you think he will jump up and down?
I believe he will not be able to contain his emotion. His excitement. Let's just say, I'm going to make sure the computer will be documenting it for future amusement purposes. That might sound dirty. That's not what I meant. I just meant, like, I want to watch it over.
Somebody else go there? Because I didn't.
Okay, good. On that case, I know what's about to happen, so I'm going to walk over to the replicator, get a cream soda to my specifications, chug it down.
Oh my god. This just reminds me of like George McFly going, milk, chocolate.
Yep.
All right.
I'm ready. I break the bottle. No, I'm just kidding. I don't do that.
Smash it.
I place it gently back into the replicator. And
cool.
Let's get ready.
All right.
Let's do this.
Let us do this.
Yes. Let us.
So 15 minutes pass, and you guys find yourselves coming upon a very visible debris field up ahead. At this point, the Sally Ride is in fact detecting the presence of a large planetoid.
Okay.
Not only that, but Astrometrics has alerted you that on its current course, this Class D planet, which you now have some information on, is headed straight towards A099418.
Uh-oh. That doesn't sound good.
That does not sound good at all.
Is that a star?
It is a stellar black hole.
Oh,
Wait,
90 times it is 90 times the size of Sol, so 90 solar masses.
Oof. Okay.
So we are.
It will reach the event horizon in the next hour.
Oh my god. Okay, so we gotta do this
I'm
fast.
sorry, what was that number?
And I'm
A0.
redshifting. Holy moly.
99418.
A0, sorry?
What's that?
99418.
418 black
It's
hole.
a black hole that was cataloged A099418.
So this is being drawn into that.
It would be logical to assume that this course heading was probably because the black holes pull on its own. I mean, it would have been easier to detect the closer you guys have gotten to it. There's a lot of gravitational forces at work in the area that you guys have been operating in, but the gravitational wake kind of seems to have masked the presence. But now that you're getting close enough to the planetoid, you can basically chart its course.
Okay.
It's headed straight towards the singularity, and we'll reach it within the next hour.
Now,
A lot of time.
logically, Sage, I'm now starting to suspect that we are on the right track to find the shuttle, because it seems that everything has gotten swept up in this gravitational wave. So I would logically assume that the shuttle is here somewhere. We need to find it within the next hour. I'd like to know, or do a scan or for this maybe, how much time do we have so I know in less than an hour, this planetoid is going to reach the event horizon.
Yes. I'll go ahead and if
Less than an
Talon,
hour.
I would say this isn't a scan. This is you as a Vulcan working it out in your mind.
Okay.
So I would say make a reason science check.
All right.
Do the math in your brain.
Yes.
What's the difficulty?
The difficulty, this calculation, the difficulty for you is going to be 1.
Difficulty is 1.
Yeah.
Oh, burn a momentum to get an extra die because it'll
I
probably
will.
burn more. You'll probably get more momentum.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah.
2 more questions.
Logic.
Or, I don't know. Yeah, something.
Maybe 1.
Boom, boom.
Yeah, 3 success.
3 successes.
Yeah.
Talon doing what Talon does. Generate that
I'm
momentum.
going to need this momentum.
Okay, so, without mincing words with you, Talon, you're going to be cutting it close. And to get through this debris field, you're going to have to proceed at full impulse power to reach the other side. And if you find the shuttle on the other side, on that, in the wake of this class,
there.
you're going to have to. It's going to have to be a grab and go.
Okay.
The Sally Ride is going to start feeling the shearing force of the event horizon, because inertial dampeners, as you guys are trying to pull away from the event horizon,
Yeah.
it's
freighter.
it's going to get bumpy.
Yep.
But it is a stellar black hole with 90 solar masses. It's not a gentle singularity. It's small enough that it's going to be pretty dangerous.
Okay.
It is saying something that it's 90 times of Sol, and it's considered small as black holes go. It's not a
Yeah.
supermassive. This is basically it's a collapsed star, and it's going to be close. It's going to be a bumpy ride. And the thing is you're going to have to get pretty close to the planet too, because gravitational force is in effect. You're not going to be able to just warp out of there, and you're going to have to be pretty close to get transporters to work.
That's what I was going to ask about the transporters.
You are going to
'cause
need
there's so
some
much-
engineering savvy to get the transporters
I
to
would
work.
I need to talk to Jiv. I also am now more worried about the freighter. So I want to confer okay, we can't lose time. So I think what I would like to do right now is have Sage start navigating through this.
I'm going to, can I open a
Bring Jiv up.
hailing, or not even Jiv, I need to talk to
yes.
the captain of
the Zhao?
Yeah.
I need to talk to Sarah
Okay.
and make sure they put the best pilot on her ship to,
Okay.
and basically,
Her face comes up on the screen, and she says, "This is the Zhao. Looks like we've got a debris field up ahead. It's going to be some good money."
Yes, we do. I have Ensign Sage, our helmswoman, here with some instructions for you to navigate this safely behind us.
really,
Oh.
I do the instructions? Okay, hi, so we don't really have time to go garbage shopping. We're gonna have to get through this very fast. You should probably tell them where we're headed first. Like there's about the A099418.
Yes, to give you a brief update, we are heading towards a black hole.
What?
We are in the gravitational wake of a Class D planetoid that is being drawn into the event horizon of a black hole. We have less than an hour to locate our shuttle, which I
Okay.
am now more and more convinced that it is between us and that black hole.
And what do you want from us?
So if you would like
Well-
to continue
We don't.
joining,
I have
Sarah's
a,
like, bye.
oh,
I
sorry.
actually,
Oops.
before we talk
Did
to
I-
her, I would have loved to talk to Jiv because I'm now thinking, as Talon, sorry, can you close the
You just want to cut her off? You're like, you know what? I'll get back to you. Click.
On mute for a second. Oh no! Interference!
You can mute it.
I muted it.
This actually makes it easier if she wants to leave because I want to know.
She does.
Yeah, and I don't blame her, and I kind of want her to because does that metal, the ore sensor hookup that our engineers gave her, does that give us any advantage to find the shuttle? I feel like our sensors
you know
are
a
pretty
lot of out
dope.
of character information.
What's that?
You know a lot of out of character information at this point.
Yeah,
So
right, that's
in
true.
character.
In character.
You don't know where the shuttle is. It could
Right.
be trapped in the gravitational pull. In which case, yes, it's going to help you tremendously. But since out of character, the shuttle being on the planet, it's not going to make a difference. But what you guys have right now, Talon is informed that this is the best chance of finding the shuttle.
But I'm also worried that now I am.
Would
This
they
is
be
half in character,
risking
half out of
more
character.
lives, yeah.
I'm more concerned that I'm putting now a freighter, 42 people in danger because I'm looking for our senior officers, and I'm not
Yes.
jiving with
I'll
that.
tell you this.
Scanner?
From
We
the
borrow
rolls that you have made, I'll tell tell you this.
Yes.
That navigating the debris field with this freighter, as you guys are headed towards a black hole under the time crunch that you are now under, it's going to be like trying to run the last leg of a marathon
With two people.
on your back.
Don't do that.
Yeah, I don't
And
like
you
that.
can't
I don't
afford
like
to play
those odds.
second.
I'm gonna cut her loose.
Bye, Sarah.
And it sucks because I think we're gonna lose some sensor ability, but
we can.
I think we need to cut her loose.
Hold on.
Which
I'm
she
gonna
will agree
unmute.
with, so that's good.
Hope she can't read lips.
Captain Goldstein, would you be willing to allow us to borrow your metal scanner, Ferengi thing? Just for the next hour, and then as soon as we come back, we can give it right back to you.
Or we'll die.
Sure.
Or you might not see it.
Sage, you have engineering expertise.
Yes.
So just
Oh
to
yeah, that's right. I know what it is.
So
Yeah,
just to,
sorry.
no,
I was
just to
just,
inform you.
scared.
Just to inform you, this is a system that's been integrated into her ship systems.
Oh,
it's
never
not.
mind.
We're
So
not
you're probably
going
going to take about 2.5 to 3 hours to
That's
remove
right.
it from their ship.
All right.
And
It was lovely talking with you, Captain Goldstein.
Don't hang up yet. Don't hang up yet. Captain Goldstein, we are in agreement that we would like to have put you at a safe distance from this gravitational pull.
yeah, this is a little more than we bargained for.
Absolutely, I agree, and you have helped us thus far.
You have helped us tremendously. You've added an enormous amount of longevity to our salvage operations, and I'm willing to cut my losses here. That's we don't have the engine power to escape the gravitational pull of an event horizon.
Yes.
So we're gonna call it here, I think.
I would like to ask you for a favor, if possible.
Yeah, of course. What can we do?
Once your ship is cleared of this gravitational wave at a safe distance, I would like you to stand by with. Do you have transporters?
We have a single transporter unit. Yeah,
All right. What is the range of your transporter?
that's standard issue. We can beam down to planets and whatnot.
I would appreciate you standing by to. If something happens to our ship, or if we find our senior officers, it would really
You want
help
backup
us.
in case
Yes.
things go south.
Yes. We could make sure you're at a safe distance.
I might need to offer my crew something to entice them to follow their captain's orders with something like this. A lot of the people who serve under me are here for profit, Commander.
I can ensure that Starfleet will not ever find out whether or not you have done anything illegal here.
Well, funny thing about that, Commander, was actually telling the truth.
Oh, right. Of course, you are not doing illegal things.
Can I mute it
No,
again?
I'm not. What's that?
I'm going to mute it one more time.
You meet it.
Could we send over a couple replicators for them? We really got to hurry.
I thought we already did that.
You sent over one.
Oh.
You can send over more.
More?
Oh.
Yeah.
I mean,
You have
there's
to get in
42
contact
people.
with Jiv and Ray.
All right, I'm going to drive a hard bargain and say one more replicator.
Okay. Unmute.
All right.
We have located another extra replicator.
Couldn't the replicator just replicate a replicator?
We don't go down that road.
The answer to that is no, because there's a lot of different.
Replicator.
For the same reason that replicators that create tools and whatnot don't create Earl Grey hot. There's replicators are programmed differently. Yeah.
But we can only give them the replicator after we return with our
Safely.
captain to ensure they stay nearby. Sorry, that was not me talking out loud. That was just me.
So what are you telling her?
We have one additional replicator that we will happily install after we have secured our crew members. With your assistance.
It doesn't sound like we have a lot of time to haggle over this, Commander.
don't have time.
I'll do my look. Just so you know, I'm sold. I'll help, but my crew. That's going to be tricky. Asking them to do this. I'll do my best. Replicator would be great.
With all due respect, Captain Sarah Goldstein, I have met you now in person. I have talked to you over this time. You are someone who commands respect with your crew, I can tell. And I believe that if you are convinced that this is a worthy cause, then they will be too.
We're not Starfleet, Commander, but
But you are a captain. You are more of a captain than I ever will be.
I'll give it all my best. I can't promise you anything. I can't. But I'll do my best.
Captain, I hate to push this, but we've got to get moving. I got to get through this before we run out of time.
All right, you increase to full impulse as
They break
the
off.
Zhao breaks away. You lower shields for a moment, and the Zhao pulls out of the wake. A couple of scattered pieces of debris, real small debris, nothing to actually damage the hull, but you can actually see like sand impacting on glass as the Zhao pulls out of the gravitational wake. Back to the cave. The reaction of this thing from the seismic event that just took place has it kind of frozen for a moment. And it doesn't move.
Okay, people, we have to determine if this new life form is a threat to us or is friendly.
How I've been in cave-ins. What was that?
It was definitely a seismic event, and it shook this entire cavern area. Was affected by the vibrations.
Commander, are there tectonic plates on a planetoid?
That
This
is
size?
typically indicative of a
you want a
rapidly
science roll?
expanding and cooling mantle, which would indicate the presence of a molten core, if I recall correctly. Again, I'm
I think
not
that's
the
right.
most trained in the sciences.
This is not an ice. Oh, sorry. Never mind. I'm not here.
I know, right? I'm
Ghost of Talan.
Appears to science you guys out of trouble.
There's,
So what do you guys want to do?
I think, a critical mass associated with
I agree,
that.
I didn't feel great about that rumble. Can we get some more readings on it? Can we get some sort of readings
I
on
would
the
love to
planetoid?
see the existence of anything.
it's not I'm not going to say this will be a difficulty 0 scan.
Okay, give it a scan, Doc.
Give it a second.
Ooh, yeah. Get that momentum.
Here we go.
I'll give it to you at difficulty 0.
Reason
And,
science?
yeah, reason science. This will be a good opportunity just to generate some momentum.
Crack open that
4
track
successes.
You're maxed out of momentum.
Whoa!
So difficulty 0. So this is.
I don't know what it means, but I'm excited.
So yeah, I'm giving you a roll to generate some momentum here because this is an easy scan. A tricorder would definitely be able to detect any kind of seismic events that were taking place. Just geologically speaking, scanning the surrounding area, you're not going to be able to get any kind of in-depth scan about the status of the core of this planet with a tricorder. All you're going to get is a general scan of the area. There is nothing within the few kilometers of this place that would indicate any kind of fault line or anything.
This is a dead rock in space. How is it having an earthquake?
You don't know, but at least in the next few kilometers, there is no sign of any kind of fault.
Any immediate structural threats?
Might not be tectonics as such.
I think I know where
You
you're
ever
going with this,
seen
Commander.
tree roots tear up a road?
But it seems as surprised as we are.
It's still just
I wouldn't
lumbering.
expect it if I were a tree root.
I did want to correct you on one note, Doctor. This is a dead rock hurtling through space. And we just recently, encountered a moon crashing into a planet. We've been encountering some odd gravitational phenomena. So, I'm getting a little nervous here, people.
So, as amazing a scientific
Discovery?
discovery is, perhaps we best return
We need to get
to the
hell out of
room
here.
you so
Yes.
little wanted to leave and
Yes.
investigate getting some kind of a beacon out.
Maybe we can bring our new friend with us.
So here's the thing. It is 12:34.
Sorry.
So we have one more hour to continue this
We
journey.
are very close to the end of this episode. So, I'm going to pose this to the crew and to you guys, the other crew. Do you guys feel comfortable going another few minutes here? Do you guys want to go a little bit longer, or shall we call it for the night? What are you comfortable with? There's no wrong answer here.
Yeah.
Because
I'm comfortable with either.
how are you doing, Sam? You want to keep going?
If it's for a good while, a couple minutes break wouldn't hurt me, but if it's
For a couple minutes, and then we're...
I don't know.
literally a couple.
Do we want to go a few more minutes? I'll tell you what. Why don't we go another 15 minutes? Are we cool with that, crew? Can you all nod?
No is an answer.
10, 15 minutes?
Okay.
Okay. All right,
do this.
so we'll try to wrap this up in the next 10 minutes or
Okay.
Okay.
so. Add a little time to our.
I'm shouting verbs at the plant creature.
We'll buy you all
Stand.
beer. That'd be
Safe.
great.
Good. We need
The crew's taking us. Yeah, we'll buy you beer. It's a verbal
Actually,
agreement.
yeah, totally.
We have an accord.
Let's do
Send your
that.
special thanks to our crew who's agreed to go another 10 minutes.
Let's move, people. We
Can't
need
wait
to-
until Monday night arrives.
Yeah, so begin.
All right.
We need to head back to our computer room. We need to move now. And Doctor, if you can somehow convince this new and curious life form to follow us, all the better.
The target, Bob.
So what are you doing?
We're moving. We're
Okay,
going.
you guys start to move, and you're kind of moving it forward, and it begins to lumber forward, and it gets a little close to you guys. Again, 8.5 feet tall. I am Groot. Like, this thing is huge. It just kind of, and as it gets a little bit closer, as you're kind of motioning it forward, it stops suddenly and kind of leans forward. Almost like it's trying to look at you, even though there's no clear ocular sensor of any kind on this thing. But it doesn't continue to move. And it stops. And we're going to cut back to the Sally Ride as she's entering the debris field.
Okay.
Go ahead and make your roll here.
What is the
This is going to
difficulty?
be a straight up roll to get through the debris field. So you're going through a dense debris field,
Yeah.
chasing a planet that's hurtling towards its death.
What is the difficulty?
And it's full impulse power. I'm going to rule that the difficulty here is going to be 3.
Okay.
I'm going to spend 2 threat.
Okay. I'm going to spend
So the
3 momentum.
I'm going to raise the difficulty here to 4. And I'm going to increase the threat range by 1.
Why? Why we do this now?
And I'm increasing the threat range by 1.
Can I assist at all?
Yes.
Yes? Okay.
Yes, I'll let
And
you
I'm
assist.
using my focuses
You
here
can use
for
Sally
sure.
Ride sensors here to detect
Ooh!
all of the debris that's coming in.
I have thingies.
Yeah, what can I do? What can
make
I
this
Am I
roll.
doing a precise evasion? No. Is that what that's called?
That's for combat.
Oh crap.
I don't think I have any focuses that can help, but
You know what I'll let you do?
Hmm.
Let's stand by on that. But if the Sally Ride takes damage, I think that's where you would come into play.
Okay.
Because her shields are about to take a
Take a
pounding.
beating,
So
yeah.
let's go ahead.
and then what's
So
the
you're
difficulties
you're gonna
for
be
4?
you're gonna be control and science on this.
all right.
And Sally's doing it?
Sally is assisting.
Okay, great. Roll for Sally.
Difficulty is 4.
Someone roll for
the
Sally?
threat complication range has expanded, so it's 19 or 20 is a
And it's
complication.
difficulty 4. We got
Difficulty
this,
4.
y'all.
We got this.
Sally rolling on this?
the leaf on the wind.
It's
The
going to
leaf
be
on the
helm and.
Why would you say that?
Oh my god! You're saying the leaf on the wind stuff.
What?
Why
that was
would you-
Bonnie talking, not Lark. Here we go. Are we ready? Am I doing this? Are we rolling?
So the Sally Ride
We
is
gotta
going to
roll.
make her helm and. I believe it's con. Let's see.
We don't
don't
have
have her
that
character sheet
for
in front of me.
systems. Engines, computers, weapons, structure, sensors, con.
Structure.
Structure. Cool. Structure,
Yep.
con. Got it.
Structure con.
Ready?
Make your roll.
Yep.
Tell me what you get.
Oh! Wait. Okay. What? 1, 2, 3. Right? Yep. 3 successes.
I had 1.
4 successes.
Sally adds 2.
6 So we just got 2 more momentum.
The Sally Ride buckles a little bit as she begins to collide with space debris. But when I say collide, it's literally Lark
Oh, no, that
is
was right. Sorry.
Lark is positioning the Sally at full impulse and is causing the impacts to graze. It's almost like they're blending with the impact so that every piece of debris that's colliding with the shields of the Sally Ride is grazing off the top and spinning harmlessly off into space. Talon, it's masterful. It's for a second, Lark goes into a zone that you're seeing some piloting that is top grade. Like, it would not surprise you to find out if Lark Sage was top of her class when it came to helm operations.
This is why I'm not down in engineering.
She guides the USS Sally Ride through an incredibly dense debris field, and comes out the other side at full impulse power. What she just pulled was damn impressive. And the moment you clear that debris field, you are in visual range, coming up very quickly on a Class D planet that looks like just a dead world. And within a few seconds of coming in visual range, you immediately detect a downed Federation shuttle on the surface. You also immediately detect life forms in an underground area and a possible fourth life form that doesn't register at all in the database.
Is there a way to communicate with them, with the captain?
Yes.
Comm badges.
All right, open that channel.
Opening all the channels and the frequencies I got.
So as you're pausing, watching this
I
thing,
get a lock on them too immediately.
Oh,
you're not in transporter range yet. But you're coming up. So as you are sitting there wondering why this thing isn't moving forward, all of you hear the sweetest sound. You hear coming through in Toulon.
Sally Ride to the shuttle. Do you hear us? Do you read?
Yes,
Solid copy.
you found us. It is fantastic to hear your voice, Talon.
The moment we enter transporter range, we will get you back on the ship and out of this gravitational pull.
Talon, we're not alone.
Yes, we've made quite discovery.
Discovery.
It's safe to say. Discoveries,
Both
plural. Yes.
Biological and historical significance.
Captain,
There's
tell
a
me what you
rumbling.
need.
Hey, you should mention the black hole.
Here, Lark.
Captain, we have a very short time
Go ahead,
span to
Talon.
get. We have a very short time span. We are all in the gravitational path of a black hole. We are rapidly approaching. We need to get you and whatever else you need off of that planetoid instantly.
How much time do we have?
Minutes.
Minutes?
Minutes.
That's our rumble, and that
You're going to be
is-
coming into transporter range. You'll probably have about, I would say, maybe 90 to 95 seconds to get them off planet and out of here before you guys start feeling the effects of the event horizon.
How can we evacuate an organism like this? I'm going to need some kind of containment field, set up as some kind of customized atmosphere. I don't know how big a sample it can reconstruct itself from, but we can't let this be lost.
I
See what you can figure out, sir.
Throw low.
If you want to try to get some of that
You
hardware.
flinch suddenly as you look, and you see like a 3-fingered hand has reached out and it's gently.
we were all like,
it's reached out. It's reached out and it's. We don't have time. So it's reached out and it's gently touched the side of your arm, and it's just touching you. This huge entity.
Throlo, you do what you can. We're going to have to risk what we're going to have to risk, but we're going to bring this creature on board.
All right.
Okay? Talon, as soon as you can lock onto us, beam us up.
Captain, who is us exactly? I have your 3 signals and one signal that I am not detecting. I'm not sure what it is.
We've discovered some new life form. Just go with it. Just beam us up.
Is it safe to transport onto this ship? Does it need special...
Transport to the medical quarantine force field.
Throlo will tell you everything that you need to know.
All right, activate. So I'm sending a message down to the medical
we
bay.
at the
Activate
computers?
quarantine field.
What's that?
Are we back
You're
to
fine,
our
yeah.
rendezvous computer room area with the data
yeah.
of
You
Project
guys are-
Genesis?
are
I'll
you gonna
stay with the thing
creature?
for now.
There, you're going there.
All right, Talon. The other life form they're talking about is the size of a small city. There's no way to beam it on board.
Captain,
There's
there's-
nothing to lock onto except for an entire cavern that's emitting biological energy.
If our sensors are correct, which they are, this life form is too immense to fit into a quarantine field
There's
on the
a,
ship.
there's a smaller, focused being about 8 feet tall that is standing next to Throlo right now.
Take
Can you lock
me
onto that?
and 10 feet in every direction.
Do you
Like
want me
a
to?
clipping.
Is that possible?
I can certainly try.
Do you want to make a science roll on this real
Yes.
quick before we enact the final scene here of the episode?
Yes.
Make your science check.
Do we want?
Me, Talon, or both?
You should roll this too.
Yeah. Can we?
Yes, go ahead and roll your signature skills here. So this is going to be reason in science. This is going to be reason in medicine.
Yeah.
Because of the black.
Spend it. Save a life.
Did you take one too? Do we both take
Save a
one?
marvelous
I'm letting
unique
you
life
both roll
form.
on this.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right.
You're right, Commander. If we don't risk
gotta-
this, it's going to die either way.
What's the difficulty?
Yeah. What was the difficulty?
The difficulty here is 1.
Xenobiology?
Yeah, it'll apply.
Oh yeah, me too.
2, 3.
Yep, it'll
I'm
apply.
spending
I'll
a
give it to you.
reroll.
I'll give it to you.
Yeah, I don't have that.
1, 2, 3, 4 successes. Woo!
1, 2, 3 successes.
All right. Well, we maxed out a momentum.
If it's very likely that if you beam whatever's in front of you up, it would be like clipping the brain stem.
In a good way?
Oh yeah.
There's really no good way to clip a brain stem.
Plants are special.
It's true. We have to try or it goes into a black hole.
There's just not enough data. There's a 50-50 chance that this thing stays here, or you kill it the moment you bring it on board. You don't know.
But there's a 100% chance it's hurtling into a black hole right now.
There's a 100% chance it's hurtling
And
into
this
a black hole.
planetoid is far too large for us to grab it with some sort of tractor beam. The entire planetoid.
That's correct.
Okay.
This planetoid is.
I had to ask. That wasn't a stupid question, you guys.
I did the same thing earlier. You're good. Okay, let's go.
That was my
This-
laugh of frustration.
This planetoid is about twice the size of Titan,
Okay.
the moon.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Run. Grab whatever
I'm there. I'm
isn't
in the
nailed
computer
down.
room.
You're in the computer room. Yeah.
What?
It doesn't take you long
With
to get
9
back
seconds to go, what kind of equipment do I have on me? What
You
kind of a
can-
flash drive do I have to plug into this
there.
computer?
No. You can easily just transfer the information straight to the Sally Ride.
Great.
I'm doing it.
Great.
Okay.
I'm doing
Okay.
it.
So information transfer begins.
I'm scanning furiously with the hand that is not currently holding Swamp Thing.
Oh, and that's its nickname.
All I'm telling you now is that you do not have enough information about this life form.
Right, but if I kill it, I want to learn everything I can in the last seconds it
Okay.
has alive.
You're okay. All right, so we're doing this.
Okay.
You guys are approaching on screen, just beyond the horizon of this. You see what could best be described is it just looks like the black of space, and around a single point that looks like nothing is there, you just see this mirror warping effect. Light is bending up ahead. It's just twisting in front of you. The stars look like they're rippled, but they're frozen in this moment of rippling effect. It looks. You've seen black holes in images and whatnot. Being this close to one, the Sally Ride begins to feel the.
Commander, we're running out of time.
So go ahead. Guess what, Ren? I'm going to make you roll for this. You're transporting them off planet. So I'm going to have you
don't
make
kill
an
us.
engineering roll. You're going to make a control plus engineering roll,
Get splinched.
and Sally Ride is going to assist.
Give me things.
What's the difficulty?
The difficulty on this is 2.
2?
Yep.
Okay, so
You guys are close enough that it's going to
we're
be.
spending 1, so give you an extra die.
But you know what? I've got all this threat, so I'm going to raise it to 3.
And it's 3 with Sally Ride or 2 with Sally Ride?
No, this is not a sensor scan. This is a transport. So
oh, that's
the
right.
total difficulty now is 3 because I spent
this
threat.
is the
from
end
sure.
line, and we want
Can
that
anyone
life form.
assist?
Another 2,
Can I
another
add
die.
focus it? I
Wait,
don't-
add 2 more?
What do I?
I did.
Add another dice.
See, I've got the.
Yeah.
Oh,
you've got 4 dice now.
So we have 3
Yep.
momentum. Okay. 4 dice.
number.
This is it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Before
Okay.
I roll.
This.
Anything else?
You got this.
No. Okay.
All right.
Roll it.
And her
Bring us
focus
home.
is what apply.
No. What focus do you have?
Engineering.
Engineering.
Okay, you got this.
What's that?
What's our girl rolling?
She's going to roll. What are the stats on the Sally Ride?
Engine, computer, weapon structure, sensors, comm,
Computer.
computers, science, con, engineering.
I'm going to say computer con.
Right.
Okay.
You
got
have that
this.
thing when you do anything assisted by the ship's computers, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Technical
Yeah.
expertise.
Yeah. So
yes.
Correct.
I can re-roll if it.
Yep. You can reroll a 20. All right, so
That's what I
go
was
for it. Big final roll of the episode.
Okay.
See what she gets.
What am I rolling? What?
You need 3 successes.
No. I know that. But what am I controlling? What?
You're doing a control engineering check.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What's your target?
8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay. So I'm re-rolling.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm getting it. Yeah! 3 successes.
Alright, so 3.
Wow.
And we got one more. No, that was, it was 3.
Yeah, we hit it.
Never mind.
Just as the data transfer finishes and the seismic events begin to pick up, you see the blue lines of a transporter beam beaming you off planet.
Expecting it to finish, man. This is a win. This is
Yeah,
great.
you get the info. You get it all. And you leave. You were the last people to ever set foot in Regula as you beam away.
Regula.
You two, Rue, the beam. You all beam onto the transporter pad of the Sally Ride. The moment you guys hear that you have him, you won't have to roll for it because you guys basically beat the event horizon. So you're able to pull out of the gravitational wake and move away quickly.
Okay.
In rear view mirror, basically, as you do like rear screen, you're watching this planet, Talon. You've seen a moon collide with a planet. You're now watching a planetoid get sucked into a singularity. And what's eerie about it is you start seeing some rock break away, and then darkness just envelops it. As it approaches the event horizon, there's not enough light to actually show you what's happening. And so visually, you cannot see the planetoid anymore. Your sensors, however, the Sally Ride is detecting this planetoid basically being sheared apart, as it's essentially being elongated like toothpaste in a tube. Just the molecules at the base level are being ripped and sheared. When you guys arrive on the transporter pad, the creature, this life form,
We're in the medical quarantine.
yeah, half of it arrives with you. And as it beams into, like, as you arrive in the medical quarantine, it immediately just, and it lurches back up against one of the medical beds, and you, Throlo, immediately see Browning just start spreading up. It puts its hand out to you again.
No.
And as you take it, it gently closes its fingers around your hand as it just turns brown.
I'm trying to figure out anything I can feed it.
Matazi rushes up to you, and the two of you, like Matazi not knowing what the hell is going on and seeing this, the Cation runs up with a tricorder and a hypospray, but like, how do you, like, he just stares and says, and very quietly just runs a tricorder scan, and you hear him say, "I'm not detecting any life signs, Doctor." We have to stop. We have to stop there. So we're gonna have to conclude the episode.
Cool. Great.
Went as far as we could go. I want to thank the crew. I'm gonna get us the hell out of here because the crew went late tonight for us, and we appreciate it. We're gonna be kind of abrupt here, so I apologize because that was a hell of a pausing point. But we will wrap up the Orphan next episode of Shield of Tomorrow next Wednesday night. Stay tuned until then. Hailing frequencies are closed. Thanks for tuning in to Shield of Tomorrow. If you enjoyed this, be sure to like and subscribe for more videos. We'll be here every week with the ongoing adventures of the USS Sally Ride. New episodes air on Geek and Sundry Twitch and Alpha every Friday from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. If you'd like to see more, you can start your free 30-day trial on projectalpha.com.